Not expect to see the series that we saw. 3 blowouts? I would never have expected that with those two teams. I'm glad 2 of them went our way.
And now you just watch them take 2 of 3 against the New York Mets. If you're going to grouse about getting swept, you also have to sort of celebrate the good.
Kincade Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a good Tuesday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside Connor Thomas, who is filling in for John Kincade today. Connor, good morning.
What's up, buddy?
It is good to have you here in studio. It is good to have Brendan Gunn back, who is back from bachelor party duties.
We have like half of him. He said his brain is applesauce.
Did you survive?
It's Mott's applesauce right now, dude. I'm here, but my mind is not. But I'm here.
And this wasn't even your bachelor party, the newly engaged man. This is somebody else's bachelor party. You just wait till yours, man.
I'm excited for that.
It's good. That's part of the reason why I got married, just for the bachelor party itself. All right, Phillies win yesterday. They beat the Padres 4-0. Zack Wheeler, absolutely dominant. I can't wait to specifically talk about Zack Wheeler in a couple of segments because he deserves like plenty of time and not just the intro to the show. But Zack Wheeler was spectacular yesterday. Phillies just played good baseball yesterday. Nick Castellanos with the solo shot, but after that, they found ways to score runs. Bryson Stott with the incredible base running on the infield ground ball by Brandon Marsh. He scores from second base on it. Trey Turner hits a little dribbler that scores a run yesterday. They just played good baseball. Zack Wheeler, 10 strikeouts, 8 shutout innings. Tanner Banks closes the door in the 9th. So good win for the Phillies. But it was also a good day yesterday at Citizens Bank Park because it was the return of Bryce Harper. We talked about this last week that he was going to probably just pop up out of nowhere. When John's been so upset recently about not being told what's going on, I understand it because we want honesty from our teams, and especially in this city when it comes to injuries, we deal with it a little bit too much with the Sixers, and the Phillies have quietly become the Sixers when it comes to the weird reporting of injuries. But Bryce Harper, who in the past has not gone down to the minor leagues for any sort of rehab start or rehab stint, he just randomly pops back up. And yesterday we got the breaking news early in the afternoon that he was going to be reinstated. And we saw him back in the lineup yesterday. And first and foremost, it was good to see him back in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah, that's the most important thing because even if Bryce Harper is not Bryce Harper, he's better than what you've been trotting out there, and he's still going to get that respect from opposing pitching staff. So it's a step in the right direction. The question is, what Bryce Harper are you getting? And that's more of the ceiling of this team conversation. But right now, it's a good thing for this team just ahead of the All-Star break to get him back.
Yeah, just to see him back is a good sign. So yesterday, before the game, when he was reinstated, he spoke to members of the media. And I want to play it for you. There's a back and forth with a couple of reporters. And we're going to have an interesting conversation because I know how much we love Bryce Harper in this city. And it is very rare to hear any sort of criticism other than complaining about pandering, right? Like, when it comes to Bryce Harper, our critiques are sometimes very stupid base running. Like, oh, you can't hide behind the shield of aggressive when it's stupid. Other than that, he's asking for a contract.
And he probably deserves it.
There's not much to critique when it comes to Bryce Harper. But take a listen to his back and forth before the game yesterday about his status, the wrist, how it's feeling, and what the plan could be moving forward.
Bryce, ultimately, what went into your decision and why was it time for you to come back?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to take any other steps forward of feeling better or anything like that. I thought we were kind of at a standstill of it feeling the same the last couple days, and from BP to live and things like that, kind of gave us the same results each day. So I thought today was a good one.
Is it something you're going to have to manage, though, in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. I'm not sure yet what that's going to feel like. So we're going to, as I go, I think, and as I know you guys will, and Tomper as well. So we'll see how I feel tonight, tomorrow, and go from there.
You said last year you played through it. Does it feel any better or worse than how you played through it last year?
Yeah, no, it feels better. It feels way better than where I was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I'm happy with where we are. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how I feel each day. If I need to take days off or figure those days off. I know we have Thursdays pretty much all the way till the middle of August off, so that'll be good for it. But I'm just not sure yet. We're gonna, like I said, it's kind of been at a standstill the last couple of days of feeling good. So hopefully it stays there.
Do you feel you can play your best level feeling the way you do now?
Yeah.
All right, so that last question, he says, yeah, that's great. So when I heard that yesterday and I heard it again this morning, I did not take that as, wow, he's good. He's great. He's ready to go. I took that as he can play through it right now. We're talking about trying to win a World Series. That's not great. Like, that wasn't a ringing endorsement of, I'm ready to go. I'm going to be able to play through this throughout the course of the season. He basically told you the last couple of days, I felt the same way. It's not going to get any better. He doesn't think it's going to get any worse. He was asked if he could play at his high level. He said, yeah, I'll take his word for it. Only he can truly feel that. Let's just break down a couple of facts here. All right? And if I talk out of line, you let me know.
Okay.
Because I try to be as careful as possible when it comes to somebody's body and their injuries, because I don't know. It's their body. The facts are he started dealing with this pain last year. Correct?
Yes.
He felt it during the offseason. He decided to go with rest, correct?
That is correct.
He came back this year, and we all kind of felt like something was off. That's not a fact-based opinion. That's just
Watch the games. Was he Bryce Harper? No.
Feel-based opinion. He went on the injured list because of the same wrist injury that he was dealing with last year, according to his words, correct?
Yes.
And as of like 2 weeks ago, Dave Dombrowski said that he was medically cleared, but Bryce Harper was not comfortable yet to return, correct?
Yes.
All right, so
All that's right.
all that's right. I'm not talking about his injury. I'm just saying these are the things that have been reported, not just reported, said by Bryce Harper, said by the team, and that's what we can go off of. I got to ask this question for you guys. I want you guys to chime in on this, and of course, I want the people at 610-632-0975. It's his body. He can do whatever he wants with it, right?
Yeah.
So if he said, I don't believe I need surgery, or he spoke with a medical professional that said, we can see how it goes, we don't think you need surgery right now, he's up for that decision. We crushed, myself included, Joel Embiid for playing in the Olympics last year, when it was probably smart to not play in the Olympics. Crushed him. Killed him for it. If Bryce Harper can't be Bryce Harper because of the wrist, an injury that may have been able to have been taken care of during the offseason, but he opted not to, whatever advice he got, that was the decision. Does he feel any heat from the Phillies fan?
He feels some, but if Joel Embiid is 212 degrees, boiling hot heat from the fan base, Bryce Harper might be breaking 100.
Why?
Because of his track record. He does not have the Joel Embiid injury history. In the injuries that we have seen Bryce Harper have, he has come back in a superhuman time frame. Mm-hmm. He's like the fastest guy to ever come off Tommy John.
He heals like crazy.
So if Joel Embiid is taking an injury strategy, you're right to be skeptical. If Bryce Harper is, you say, okay, well, I trust this guy more based on his injury track record and how he manages stuff. At least that's how I feel.
I'm curious because this is World Series or bust. That's another opinionated statement, right? That we've all kind of been saying since the season started.
But it is.
If he's not Bryce Harper because of something he opted not doing during the offseason, what's the reaction? I'm not trying to get people to turn on Bryce Harper. I love Bryce. When he was returned to the start, I saw that clip before the game. I went to the game yesterday with my pop. When he was announced, I still gave him the standing ovation. It was great to see him back. But if we're talking big picture World Series or bust, I'll ask you guys next segment how you felt hearing him talk there, if that made you feel better or worse. Curious to get your opinions on it. I just wonder how people will react if he can't be himself because of a decision that he made and his team made during the offseason. We'll talk more about that coming up next. Also, the Phillies, it was a great game in general. I want to talk about that. And the sports gods struck down upon thee. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Connor and for John today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Missanelli.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. So, Inns on the YouTube chat, he starts off by saying, I'm getting sick of Bryce. Now, I'm not sick of Bryce at all.
No, not remotely.
But he continues saying, get your bleeping surgery, dude. Chunas is, and he did the 100 emoji. I had the exact same thought. He's basically a part-time player over the past couple of years. You can like him and still get fed up. So, again, this is Bryce Harper's body. I don't know if he totally needed surgery. If he didn't get surgery, I imagine he didn't totally need surgery. It's just questionable that this is now continuing, and he is on the record saying it's the same injury that's been bothering him since last season. And if it's been bothering you since last season and during the offseason when you were training, because it's not like Bryce Harper puts a bat down from October to March. If there's anybody that I believe could put a bat down and pick it up and hit a home run, it's Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case. If he's been dealing with this wrist injury since last season and just thought that he could play through it, in a year where we're talking about World Series or bust, I have to question the decision that was made. But before we even get to more of that, your thoughts on what Bryce Harper said. Did anything stick out to you that made you feel better or worse or whatever?
I don't know, because you have to take everything at his word, and he's not going to come out and be like, I can't play at the level that I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just going to be okay. Like no, he's not going to say that. So the proof is going to be, as they say, in the pudding for Bryce Harper and what we see him do over the remainder of the season. I don't love that he's already looking at the amount of off days that they have.
Yeah, it's like planned out.
And trying to aim that up. But what he is saying is factual. They do have a lot of days off built into the schedule for the rest of the month of July. So
they're 15 games above 500. They have a 2-game lead in the National League East. Not that that's like a lock to win the NL East, but you feel good with where they're at. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago. Maybe you let Bryce Harper take his time because you're winning baseball games and it doesn't feel like you're desperate for him to be back in the lineup, even though you could just tell him being in the lineup yesterday makes this team so much deeper. Just him being in the 3-hole or 2-hole, wherever they put him. I thought it was weird that they went Schwarber, Harper 2-3, but whatever. I digress. But bottom line is, it's one thing to say yesterday, hey, we have a lot of Thursdays off.
yeah.
Well, what if it's bothering you on Tuesday? Are you going to take Tuesday off and then obviously use the day off Thursday? Or are you going to take Tuesday off, go back Wednesday, have Thursday?
Right, he may, but I don't care about it in the regular season. I don't. Because this is a playoff team. Like, they could trot out you, me, and be gone. And if Zack Wheeler's on the mound, they may win that baseball game.
That's true.
If Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, they're going to be a postseason team. They have a good look at winning the division because the Mets are imploding. And what I'm worried about is the month of Red October, where you're going to have to be out there playing high level baseball pretty much day in and day out. You get a couple more rest days in there because of the way the playoffs build out because of schedule, but there's going to be a month, and that's still 2 and change away.
Yeah.
And
Bryce, I'll say this right now: Bryce Harper, the Phillies cannot win the World Series with Bryce Harper being not Bryce Harper.
Well,
I'll just say it right now.
In contention to that point, every team in the history of baseball who has won the World Series has not had Bryce Harper.
Right.
So it is possible.
This team that has flaws that they can still address within this month, right? It's July 1st, so they could address this month at the trade deadline. But let's just say this team is the team that goes into the playoffs. If he's not Bryce Harper, they're not winning the World Series. I don't think they're winning the World Series regardless, unless they make some good moves. Gunner, in your haze coming off of the bachelor party, anything stand out? When you heard that Bryce Harper clip, did that make you feel good, make you feel better, make you feel worse, make you feel terrified?
I would say I'm probably leaning towards worse because he said he's back because he hit like an impasse in the healing process. It's not necessarily all the way healed. It's just not getting any better, which means we get Bryce Harper back, but are we getting just doubles Bryce Harper that we saw in the beginning of the season? Are his power numbers going to come back? So that concerns me because I'm on board with you. You cannot win the World Series with this team without Bryce Harper doing Bryce Harper things. And the way his wrist is right now, I don't know if he's capable of doing that. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard him talk, he didn't make me feel extremely confident that he's good.
I don't think he feels extremely confident that he's good.
Right.
But I think it's a wait and see thing.
And then that begs me to ask the question. What is the reaction from Phillies fans when it comes to that? You're right. The Joel Embiid, Bryce Harper, not totally relatable, even though Harper's missed his time the last couple of years. This was a decision that he and his team made to not get the surgery. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know how dire the surgery was. I don't know if he needed it during the offseason. But we're finding out that maybe it could have helped. It's the same. He's still dealing with the same pain, right? So if you're dealing with the same pain for months, what do you tell? If your dad is dealing with knee pain for 3 years, you're probably saying, "Why don't you just go get
fix your damn knee?
Fix your knee."
Yeah,
that's the same goes for a professional athlete.
But Harper's gambling, and you know what's going on right now? We're at the roulette table, and they're waving their arms, saying, "No more bets." It's on the table.
So I'm just curious what Phillies fans' reactions is to that, and if it does not go well. What's your reaction? We killed Joel Embiid for the Olympics. 610-632-0975, the number to climb in. I mentioned it earlier in the show. I wanted to take a segment or at least an extended period of time to talk about just Zack Wheeler. Sometimes when we're lost in the moment, we kind of overrate somebody or we may go over the top. When it comes to Zack Wheeler, I think anything you want to say is real. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Connor in for John today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports update.
Zack Wheeler does Zack Wheeler things. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings, struck out 10, did not walk a batter, and did not allow a run. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2 with a walk. Let's see if he gets his first hit tonight when they run it back against the Padres. Christopher Sanchez is going to be on the mound for that one. He's matched up against Nick Pivetta for the Padres. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets, and we'll continue to keep you updated on all things free agency right here on The Fanatic as it progresses. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia sports.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
In about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, excuse me. You can get them in now at 610-632-0975. Bryce Harper returned to the lineup yesterday. Again, great to see him back. Standing ovation throughout Citizens Bank Park when he was announced when he came up to bat for the first time in the bottom of the first inning. But the comments before the game when he talked about how it's as good as it's going to get, it's not feeling any better, but it's not feeling any worse. I'll play through it. It feels better than it did 4 weeks ago. But the way he talked did not make me feel like, all right, he's good. He's ready to go for the remainder of the season. And if that's the case, I just got to ask the question. If he did not do what was best for maybe the Phillies and ultimately himself, but which is what's best for himself is also best for the Phillies, and that was get some sort of procedure done during the offseason, how are we reacting if things don't go well?
Let me ask a question to your question.
Okay.
And it doesn't invalidate the thought process because either way, what happened, happened. But if he came out yesterday and was asked about this and he's like, yeah, I'm back to normal. I'm totally fine. I feel awesome. We're still having this conversation, right? We're still thinking about this at least because we know that it bothered him last year. We know that it bothered him earlier this year. And we know that it hasn't gotten better even with the rest of the
We may not be having the conversation today, but like if he's, let's say he winces in pain with
immediately.
one swing, that's
Nightmare.
the show the next day.
I got you.
It's just because he spoke honestly, which is good because we've been asking for some sort of honesty when it comes to injuries this season with the Phillies, especially with Bryce Harper. But still, I mean, once you hear him say that and he did not tell you, I'm good, I'm ready for the long run, I'm ready for the stretch run, I'll probably have some built-in days off. Like even if he said, hey, we have a lot of Thursdays off, I'll be fine, I'll be good. All right, good to hear that.
Yeah.
That's not what we got last night.
Like, our concern is still valid about what Bryce Harper's going to be the rest of the year. This is just on the point of the audio specifically, why it didn't really move me one direction or another.
Okay.
Because I've had this expectation since the news came out that he's still dealing with this.
Yeah, I mean, and then it goes back to what the question is. If they don't win, and it's because he can't be Bryce Harper, then what are we saying about him? Because he could have, and I'm not a doctor, he could have gotten some sort of procedure done. Because if he gets one after the season ends, right? I'm going to guess now that he gets something after the season's done.
Probably. Yeah.
Just a guess. And if he gets it after the conclusion of the 2025 season, when he could have gotten it after the conclusion of the 2024 season, what are we saying?
Especially this year, too, with all the guys, like Ranger
Free
has been in
agents.
free agency.
Yeah.
Schwarber, Real Muto. Like, this was supposed to be the last ride, and if you put that in jeopardy by not making that choice, people are going to feel a certain type of way.
All right. So I'm curious to hear from people at 610-632-0975. But let's talk about the more than good, the spectacular, the great, and that's Zack Wheeler. Just incredible. Again, yesterday just goes out there and chucks 8 shutout innings and strikes out 10. His ERA for the month of June, where I'm guessing he made 4 starts, his ERA was .58 for an entire month.
I'd like to see him cut it down a little bit. I mean, what are we talking about here? This dude's amazing.
This guy is spectacular. Sorry, 5 starts in the month of June. That was his 5th. So he goes 6 innings, 1 earned run on June the 9th against Chicago. 6 innings, 1 earned run on the 15th against the Blue Jays. And then he goes 5 against the Mets, 6 against the Stros, 8 against the Padres, all goose eggs in all those games. The 1 run he allowed in Houston was an unearned run, and that's the game where they score a total of 0 runs. That was the series where they scored a total of 1 run. Zack Wheeler's been ridiculous. Again, an ERA of .58 in the month of June. I looked some stuff up this morning. My lifetime. All right, so I'm not talking Steve Carlton. I'm talking about my lifetime. And I looked up, like, the horses that we have seen in Philadelphia since, let's say,
American Pharoah.
Let's say 98, right? When I'm, not just a puppy anymore and I'm starting to watch baseball and start grasping the idea of it. We've seen Schilling, and that was at the tail end, right? Because Schilling, honestly, was Kurt Schilling still on the team in 98?
I don't know. You got to look that up.
I'm going to pull that up
I was
now.
4, so I don't really remember that season.
All right, 2000 was when he went to Arizona and they win the World Series in 01. He got traded during the 2000 season. So I've seen Kurt Schilling. I've seen Roy Halladay. I've seen Cole Hamels. I've seen Cliff Lee. And I've seen Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think I missed anyone.
No.
Extended period of times. Zack Wheeler is now in his 6th season, believe it or not, already with the Phillies. His numbers in his 6 years, ERA-wise, better than Schilling's. 6 years is more than what Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee did. We saw Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee pitch out of their minds. Like Roy Halladay had a Cy Young in this city, but it was for short bursts. Cliff Lee only really did it for 2 seasons. It was just 2 immaculate seasons, but it was just 2 seasons. Roy Halladay, we saw how quickly he fell off. Cole Hamels was spectacular. But Zack Wheeler is on his own level compared to those pitchers. And he's still doing it. And we haven't seen it tail off at all. The beginning of this season, we were saying, well, he doesn't totally look like himself. His ERA this year is now 2.27, which if the season ended today, would be his best single-season ERA in any year with the Phillies and his entire career. Do you know that Zack Wheeler has had an ERA of 3 or more just once with the Phillies?
That's insane.
Just once.
I mean,
2.92 in the COVID-shortened season, 2.78 in the runner-up Cy Young season to Corbin Burns, who averaged 5 innings a game. So that was a robbery.
Shouldn't have been a runner-up.
2.82 ERA the year they go to the World Series. 3.61 in 2023, but we saw how dominant he was in the playoffs. 2.57 last year, 2.27 this year. Zack Wheeler, because it's continuing now 6 seasons in, is the best pitcher of my lifetime for the Philadelphia Phillies.
I can feel myself starting to transform, and I wondered when this was going to happen in my life. But I just sit here and I listen to you say all of that, and I say, but Roy Halladay. And that's because that was my guy when I was like growing up. And I'll still always take Doc. And this is kind of the whole thing where old heads will call in and talk about some guy who threw in the 70s or 80s. Yeah, but he's not this guy.
That's why I made it clear.
Yeah.
My lifetime.
No, but I'm just saying, like, for me, my guy was Roy Halladay. So I still think back on that.
He can be your guy, but the numbers speak for itself.
I know.
And again, the longevity of it. Doc Halladay had 2 amazing seasons with the Phillies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then it fell off. He only pitched 4 seasons here, and season 3, he had an ERA at 4.49, and then season 4 was the depressing 6.82. You knew it was done. He really only had 2 good seasons with the Phillies. Still a legend.
Yeah.
You could say individual season, best you've ever seen.
Right.
He won Cy Young, and it was like clear he won the Cy Young. But over the course of now 6 seasons, Zack Wheeler is the best pitcher of our life. I would say our lifetime, but fine, my lifetime with the Phillies.
Is it a moment kind of thing? Like you can pinpoint an exact moment in Roy Halladay, the perfect game, the no-hitter and all that. What is the Zack Wheeler moment?
Playoffs, multiple playoff performances.
Like he's been dominant in the postseason, but what has it amounted to? What has he won?
What did it amount to for the Phillies with Roy Halladay?
That is fair. That's the same thing, but it amounts to something like the history.
The weird thing with Wheeler is it's just like I think about the start against the Mets last year. They lost that game. I think about the World Series start in the final game against the Astros. They lost that game. It's just like it's
not on him, though.
No, it's not on him. But Brendan brings up a good point with the moments. He just hasn't had his signature or multiple signature moments with the Phillies, and it doesn't.
Or
take
is it
away
that he's
from the
just so
numbers.
consistently good that we don't recognize it? Like the guy threw 8 shutout innings yesterday with 10 strikeouts against one of the better lineups in baseball, and it was ho hum.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock it. I'm not trying to knock it all. The dude did not have his best stuff yesterday. He couldn't figure out his cutter. He makes the adjustment mid-game, which pitchers struggle with. He strikes out 10. He walks none. He said after the last start, I want to cut down on my walks.
Yeah.
He walks none. He strikes out 10. Like, this dude's the perfect pitcher. But I'm not trying to knock Zack Wheeler at all. It just feels like there should be more that we can say about him based on his performance, and that's not necessarily at fault.
What more is there?
No, Cy Young, he should have one, and that's not on him.
And he got
right?
robbed.
Like
He got robbed in 2021 by Corbin Burns. Like it was a robbery.
yeah, postseason stuff. It's not on him. It's on the offense and trying to win games. But it's just it feels like as good as he's been, maybe he's been unlucky.
But here's the deal. Like I know you love Doc. I love Doc. That feeling of Doc's got
When the Eagles won their first Super Bowl, of course we all do.
Yes.
And people started to make the argument, Nick Foles is now the all-time great Eagles quarterback over Donovan McNabb.
I didn't say that, though.
I know you didn't, but people did because some people valued the moments. We'll take the individual season if it's that great and say that puts them above everybody else because of that one instance. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
No, it's wrong.
Well, it's wrong to you.
It's wrong in that Foles argument. I don't know if it's wrong in the Doc Holliday one.
Yeah, the Foles thing was just the latest example I could think of. Obviously, Nick Foles is not Roy Halladay, but some people value having those moments.
I get it, but again, Doc did it for 2 incredible seasons. Cliff Lee did it for 2 incredible seasons. Zack Wheeler's been doing it for 6.
Yeah. You can tell me the years over and over and over again, and
his numbers are better than Schilling's.
I'm not far off you.
We're talking like Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame, right? Like
yes.
Kurt Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame, but because of political reasons, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Roy Halladay. Like, Bryce can pander all he wants. If he's hitting home runs, if he's getting on base, and if he's winning games, that's great. The problem may be he might not be doing that stuff, depending on how much he's hampered by this wrist injury that could have been taken care of in a different way this past offseason. If the Phillies get held back because of Bryce's health, because of the plan that he and his team took this past offseason, what's the reaction? What do we got on the text line?
We got Zach in Florida checking in saying this Bryce Harper stuff is giving me absolute PTSD of load management and ramp up. So much hinges on Harper this season, trades, World Series, everything. I'm not happy if he could have done something in the offseason.
All right, so that's the first text, is that they would not be happy. I'm not sitting here saying let's turn on Bryce Harper and start, bringing pitchforks to Citizens Bank Park. It's just we complain when people don't do what's best for the team. And Joel Embiid is the number one example that I will continue to bring up. Joel Embiid had every opportunity to play in the Olympics because his body was, at the time, right for it. Just like Bryce Harper and his doctors and his team realized that your body is okay without getting a procedure. Joel Embiid just rushed back from a procedure to play in the playoffs and then play in the Olympics. We said if he just rested, maybe this past season's goes differently. If Bryce Harper got a procedure, maybe we don't see him out for 3+ weeks. Maybe Bryce Harper is Bryce Harper. Maybe we're not having this conversation on July 1st about, well, what if he handled the offseason different?
You're absolutely right. And my only thing is I'm just going to push Bryce Harper a little bit into better standing than Joel Embiid because of 2 things. One, the history that we talked about. Like, Bryce Harper has managed injuries well in his time with the Phillies. Mm-hmm. Joel Embiid had multiple other situations where he's constantly injured with the Sixers. Fair or unfair to him, whatever, it's reality. The other thing is Bryce is going to be out there, right? Like, he may miss a game here or there, but when Joe was down this past year because of something that could have been avoided if he handled the offseason differently, he disappeared off the face of the earth. Felt like he wasn't on the team.
Yeah, I got you.
Harper's going to play. So that also puts him in a better spot. Now, if you're getting 50% and that kills your World Series chances, we should still be ticked off, but it's not quite to the level of what happened with the Sixers.
Okay, fair enough. What else we got on the text line?
We got Colby in Central PA checking in on this when he says, I don't feel like he did anything wrong last offseason not having the surgery. I would probably do the same thing, play through it, and be a man, I guess. Take the pain.
Be a man, take the pain.
Now that we know.
Be a man, take the pain. If you can't play to your level that got you a $300+ million contract, this isn't be a man.
Now, I respect that text because I'm a guy who doesn't listen to doctors and doesn't go to the doctor because I'm an idiot, and it's bad for me every time, and I'll still do it. So I understand the thought process, but if you're
you don't.
No, I do for myself. But if you're Bryce Harper, that's not how this works. If you're a pro athlete, that's not how this works. If you need something, you get something.
He did say, he finished it off saying, now that we know it didn't fix the issue, and if he doesn't do it this offseason, then he's going to be mad.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad he was a man last offseason.
He's not 40 yet.
But if he's not a man this offseason, that's better. Like what?
It's a dumb thought process, but I've had the same dumb thought process.
I appreciate Colby. Colby
so
chimes in often. I appreciate Colby. What does this be a man thing? Like, if he can't play to his ability, that's all that it comes down to, right? Like, we've had this conversation a million times. I look at athletes as humans, right? Like, I do.
I believe they are.
So, they are. Bryce Harper can do whatever he wants with his body, but as humans, if you make a decision, you have to also be ready for whatever consequences there may be. It's like when athletes talk about politics, right? I believe athletes can say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, you can.
Like, you're human. But if you say something political one way or the other, expect the backlash. Right? Because that's the way this country is. If you're Bryce Harper and you feel like you don't need to get the surgery and you opt to not get the surgery, and then eventually you find out that not having the surgery may have been the wrong decision, expect backlash.
I think that's fair.
And I'm not sitting here screaming at Bryce Harper today. It was one game back, right? He hit the ball hard a couple of times yesterday. He might be fine. But we'll play the clip for you again coming up next. When he spoke on it yesterday, because this is all I can base off of what Bryce Harper had to say, he did not, give me a boost of confidence yesterday. So you hear from Harper coming up next. We'll check more text messages. It's Kincade Salciunas, Connor, and for John today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Double-digit strikeouts for Zack Wheeler. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings. He struck out 10 batters, did not walk a batter, and did not allow a run. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, and Bryson Stott. And Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. How could I forget that? In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2 last night. He did draw a walk. We'll see if he can put together a hit tonight when the Phils run it back against the Padres again. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound tonight. He's matched up against Nick Pivetta for the Padres. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated on all things free agency right here on The Fanatic as it progresses. This update was brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. Nitro's back. The IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series is lighting up the track. Nitro Nation. Grab your tickets now at IHRA.com. IHRA.com. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Texting, the easiest and most convenient way to communicate.
Texting. When you
cleared to return. He was back in the starting lineup yesterday. And again, I want to say this first and foremost, I'm thrilled that he's back in the order. And it was great to see him back out there. The standing ovation. He had a line shot yesterday that got snagged by the first baseman of the Padres and ended up being a double play. By the way, a couple of great defensive plays yesterday. Padres first baseman, thank you, Bryson Stott with the big double play. And my God, Jackson Merrill, the catch that he had yesterday on Max Kepler, and I forgot to bring this up earlier in the show when I teased it. The sports gods struck down upon thee, Max Kepler, yesterday with that robbed home run. He got up as high as he could, in stride. Like, he didn't get to the wall, stop, and then jump. He was in stride, jumped, leaped, stole a 3-run home run away from Max Kepler. And as bummed out as I was when it happened, I started thinking, and I went, you know what? You kind of deserved it, buddy. You kind of deserved it. He ended up going 0 for 3 yesterday, and the batting average has now dropped to 205. I believe that's punishment enough.
Yeah.
And today he comes back and has a good day.
It's just, baseball's awesome, man. Like, we've seen great plays in center field at the bank with that lower wall out there, the Michael Harris one. But I've seen guys go over more, like reach back more. I don't know that I've ever seen someone go that high to get one and time it that well. It's just like, of course it's Kepler.
Oh, it was a ridiculous catch. And it was a 3-run home run stolen by Kepler. But he deserves it. Sports God struck down. You're going to complain about starting time when you're batting 209. And since then, your batting average has dropped even more to 205. He deserved what happened yesterday.
Justice.
He deserved that to happen. By the way, congratulations to Nick Castellanos. He reached a major club yesterday for the Philadelphia Phillies. Do you know what that club is?
The 3 Buttons Club.
Brendan, any guess?
No idea.
He reached the double-digit home run club. Held by 2 people.
Oh, you're talking about this year. I was thinking about his career with the Phillies.
No.
That's big-time stuff.
He hits his 10th home run yesterday, which is good for second most among the Philadelphia Phillies.
What's Trey at, 9?
I think Trey Turner's at 9, or did he reach? Oh, no, he's at 11. I'm sorry.
Come on.
We have 3 guys in the club of double-digit home runs on July 1st.
It's not hitting season yet.
My God.
It's only been 100 degrees.
Kepler would have had 10 if he was not robbed yesterday.
Imagine if he played every day.
Yeah, you're right. If he played
20.
every day, he'd have at least 10 home runs. Harper and Kepler are both at 9. So we are 1 home run away for both of those players, where we would have 5 total players at the double-digit home run total in July. Unbelievable. All right, Bryce Harper yesterday before the game. Here he was speaking with the media about the status of his wrist now and moving forward.
Bryce, ultimately, what went into your decision, and why was it time for you to come back?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to take any other steps forward of feeling better or anything like that. I thought we were kind of at a standstill of it feeling the same the last couple of days, and from BP to live and things like that, kind of gave us the same results each day. So I thought today was a good one.
Is it something you're going to have to manage, though, in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. I'm not sure yet what that's going to feel like. So we're going to, as I go, I think, and as I know you guys will, and Tomper as well. So we'll see, how I feel tonight, tomorrow, and, go from there.
You said last year you played through it. Does it feel any better or worse than how you played through it last year?
Yeah, no, it feels better. It feels way better than where I was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I'm happy with where we are. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how I feel each day. If I need to take days off or figure those days off. I know we have Thursdays pretty much all the way till the middle of August off, so that'll be good for it. But I'm just not sure yet. We're gonna, like I said, it's kind of been at a standstill the last couple of days of feeling good. So hopefully it stays there.
Do you feel you can play your best level, feeling the way you do now?
Yeah.
So a couple of things. As you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, BZ Media Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. He was like back and forth in his answer, right? Like, he's feeling good, but we'll see. And to your point, Connor, it's a little concerning that he's already seen the days off in the future, like as if he's planning it. Now, look, The Phillies did this with Zack Wheeler in 2022. They gave him like that month off, and then they also found the window of, all right, we can have him pitch on 6 days rest. Like, there is a strategy there if you're trying to get guys to the playoffs as healthy as you can be. But that didn't just sound like, hey, I'm going to use that extra day to be as healthy as I can be. There was a lot of we'll see in there. And I'm glad that he feels better now than he did a month ago when he took a month off from playing baseball, except for the last like week and change when he was doing tee work and live pitching and the pitching machine. Like, that's great. Let's see it when he's doing it every single day. Obviously, 70 swings off of a pitching machine is a lot more than what you would be doing in a baseball game.
Absolutely.
So if he feels good the next day after 70 swings, that's a good sign. But he took 3 weeks off. If we're 3 weeks from now and he's not feeling so great, then what's the conversation?
Yeah, and that's something to keep an eye on. Now, I want to remind people what the bar for this season is. We're talking about Red October. We're talking about the World Series, okay? So part of this may be mitigating risk between now and then. And if in the meantime you get part-time Bryce Harper or you get not his best Bryce Harper, that's going to be something that we keep an eye on for October. But I don't want to see someone on, like, July 25th be like, oh, he's 0 for his last whatever. See, this is just slow down. Because, one, he's a guy who can show up and just play.
Absolutely.
He is that type of player. And two, I'll take 10% of Bryce Harper over 1,000% of Buddy Kennedy. All due respect. He's going to be an impact in the lineup.
But to your point, when you say this is about Red October, if he's only 10% of Bryce Harper, they're not winning. I'm telling you right now, if he's not Bryce Harper, they're not winning the World Series.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So I agree with you that you'd take 10% of Bryce Harper over 1,000% Bundy Kennedy. I completely agree with you.
I'm just saying, like,
but if we're talking big picture, if he's not Bryce Harper, they're not winning the World Series. And if he's not Bryce Harper, we're going to revisit the decision to not get any sort of work done during the offseason. And then that leads me to ask the question, what is the reaction from people if it plays out that way?
You should be ticked off a little bit.
Because we love Bryce Harper does not get much heat in this city. And I'm not saying he should get heat. Like, he's spectacular. I'm the lunatic that complains when he doesn't bust it down the first baseline at times, right? Like, I'm the old man yelling at clouds. I understand it. Bryce Harper is one of these guys that can go a month without anybody saying boo about him. So that, again, deservedly so, because he's been worth pretty much every single penny that they have paid him, and maybe he is being underpaid. But still, if we're talking World Series or bust, and this is the last year of this core, and if he was not himself because of a decision that he made during the offseason, he probably needs to hear it a little bit.
Yeah, I just can't do the Bryce Harper or Rob Thompson or general Phillies complaints if Harper's, like, sitting every fifth day or something like that. Like, they're playing for the postseason. So if they have to take it easy, it is as a direct result of Bryce Harper maybe not handling this thing the right way in the offseason, but it may be reality, and we got to start coming to terms with that for the time being and evaluate if he's going to be who he is in the postseason.
All right, let's check the text line, 610-632-0975. And in a few minutes, there might be a big name that is available in the NFL. What do we got on the text line, Gunner?
We got Joe in West Philly checking in saying Joel Embiid and Bryce Harper are becoming part-time players the last several years. Prove it, and it's getting frustrating.
Look, maybe it's because it's the longer season. I don't feel that same way about Bryce Harper, as a couple of people have now pointed out. We've seen that on the YouTube chat. We've now seen that. We just got that from the text line. I saw it on Twitter. So, like, all of our avenues of communication, Joe checked in on Twitter. Harper 100% has had just as bad of an injury history. He misses games every single year when it comes to the comparison with Joel Embiid. Last year, he played 145 games. Like, all right, so he missed 17 games.
How dare he?
That's fine. 126 the year before that, 99 the year before that, and then 141 in the MVP season. So, in the last 5 seasons, he's played. Obviously, he hasn't played full seasons, but when you play 140 games, thumbs up.
Yeah,
you played a lot of baseball. But the other 3, he didn't reach that mark, and he's not going to reach that mark this year. So I can't go as far as Joel Embiid because the seasons are much longer. The NBA season much shorter, literally half the amount of games. and Joel Embiid makes that team go, whereas you can win with Bryce Harper out of the lineup at times, so it's not as horrible when he goes out.
Yeah, that's the thing with your whole, like, the Phillies aren't winning the World Series without Bryce Harper. And I said, probably, right? Or, like, best level Bryce Harper. If the Sixers don't have Embiid, they're dead.
Yeah.
They are dead. Like, DOA.
Yeah, they don't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
The Phillies can make the playoffs, but there's a difference between being a playoff team and a team that can win the World Series.
I know. I'm just reminding people where the bar's at. He's not Joel Embiid. And I love Joe, too, but that's not this situation.
All right, what else we got in the text line? 610-632-0975.
Yeah, we got Eric and Alden checking in on that Zack Wheeler debate you posed earlier in the show, saying Roy Halladay has two flag in the ground moments. Zack Wheeler has none. He's had entire seasons that are up there with Roy Halladay, but he does not have that moment. So he agreed with me and Connor on that one.
All right, well, hold on a second. The moment thing. Like, all right, Michael Lorenzen had a no-hitter a few years ago. So he's had more moments in a Phillies uniform.
Yeah, but Roy Halladay has the seasons and the moment.
Okay, again, he had 2 seasons. I'm not trying to take anything away from Roy Halladay. He had 2 elite all-time seasons. Zack Wheeler is now doing it for a 6th straight year.
Right. And to you, longevity is very important in this conversation. And to some people, maybe, I don't want to say like lesser Phillies fans, but you do this every day. You're zoned in every start. Like, to some people, they'll remember the moments more than they'll remember the longevity.
So what you're saying is 20 years from now, if the Phillies don't ever win the World Series with Zack Wheeler on his team, people are going to be like, man, I forgot how good he was.
Maybe.
Because he didn't have a moment.
You have nothing to go back on. Like, yes, he was great for 6, 7, 8 years in a row, and it was great. But what can I put in my back pocket? The Phillies didn't win with Roy Halladay, but he gave you history.
Okay, so
Zack Wheeler was
again,
just
so
great.
did Michael Lorenzen.
You can go back to a random home run on like August 2nd of 2017. Like, you're a baseball weirdo. The average baseball fan may look at the moments more. That's all it is. Neither of us are wrong in this conversation. Both are great pitchers. Zack Wheeler's amazing. No one's taking anything away from anyone. It's just how you evaluate their time with the team.
The fact that he's doing it for now the 6th straight season, again, makes him the most consistent best pitcher in Phillies franchise in our lifetime over the last 30 years in the Phillies franchise history.
You just threw in consistent, though. Added a little bit to the depth
I said
of
it in the very beginning that Roy Halladay had 2 incredible seasons. Zack Wheeler is now doing it for 6.
I never thought you'd be an anti-Roy Halladay guy.
Oh, my God. I'm gonna punch him
Not
in the
legendary.
mouth. Yeah, exactly. Now also I'm going to be in John's camp with that. All right, coming up next, we'll put the Phillies conversation on hold because there could be a major name available in the NFL. Major. I'll say it a 4th time. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Connor and for John today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
What's up, guys? Andrew, this summer heat and humidity, man, it's picking up. You might be starting to spend more time cooling off indoors. Now, I'm a hot weather guy, so I like sitting outside. But last couple of weeks, when it was 100 degrees outside, and I have a 3-year-old now, I can't just make the 3-year-old sit outside with me. So I was spending some more time inside. Have you been noticing any of these signs like cracked bricks, floor and wall gaps, uneven floors, drywall cracks, sticking windows and doors, bowed walls? Groundworks knows that all of these signs point to major damage building up in your foundation, and they're only going to get worse over time. This is not like some sort of virus where you just let it sit there and it's going to heal. No, the drywall crack will expand. All right, it's only going to get worse. Don't worry. With a free foundation inspection from Groundworks, the team's experts will identify your home's issues at the source. They will tell you exactly what went wrong, exactly what the problem is, and exactly how they're going to fix it. Now, you want to get ahead of these problems sooner rather than later because the longer you wait, the more extensive and, maybe more importantly for some of us, expensive the fix will be. So visit groundworks.com today, book your free inspection. You'll get a no-obligation quote included. And if you decide to do the job with Groundworks, they will provide you with payment plans that work with you. Groundworks. There's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My dad Len always says, the minute you get in a rideshare, buckle up.
And my son Jordan always says, the minute you get in a rideshare accident, first seek medical attention and then call us. This is Len Lundy.
And I'm Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. My dad and I hope we'll never meet you because of an accident, but if we do, we're here for you.
Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers.
Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Metallico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services.
Join Connor Thomas from Kincade Salciunas and Michelob Ultra for a FIFA Club World Cup ticket party Thursday night from 6 to 8 at Black Sheep in Rittenhouse Square. Enjoy $5 Ultra Pints and score some Michelob Ultra swag. Enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the 4th of July match. Click events at 975thefanatic.com for details.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
The 7 a.m. hour of Kincade and Salciunas is brought to you by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the Bet Parks app and play all your favorite casino games. Bet Parks has a great offer for new users. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It is 7:13 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the Phillies to start the show, and now people are chiming in on YouTube saying, I hate Roy Halladay. This is your guys' fault. Thanks a lot.
We didn't make your argument.
For saying that Zack Wheeler has been consistently the best pitcher in our lifetime. 31 years. I don't think there's any disputing that. I really don't think. It's 6 seasons now. Unbelievable. All right, yesterday, major news in the NFL. So Adam Schefter reported that in recent weeks, multiple teams have been discussing whether or not they could trade for Steelers standout T.J. Watt. So T.J. Watt skipped their minicamp, mandatory minicamp, took the fines. As Schefter continues, he says Pittsburgh hasn't shown any willingness to deal Watt so far, but he's unhappy with his contractual situation, and sources believe outside team interest is likely to increase given yesterday's trade, which was Minkah Fitzpatrick being traded to the Dolphins. The Steelers get Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, the tight end, in return, which was a crazy deal. And we'll talk about the Steelers later on in the show because I find it funny that they're going all in with a quarterback that's not all in. But T.J. Watt could potentially be on the market. So right away, I saw our man MBD on YouTube saying, don't waste your time, less than a 10% chance that the Eagles get him. I'm not necessarily doing the whole, do you want the Eagles to trade for T.J. Watt? Now, that's a question because let's face it. They have the draft capital.
They do.
The cap space is questionable. That's Howie's world.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not smart enough to know what kind of cap work that Howie Roseman can do. If there's anybody that can do it, it's Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles front office when it comes to that kind of stuff. But TJ Watt's a damn stud. He's 30 years old. He's a damn stud. Right now, you're going into a season where you're relying on Nolan Smith to take another leap forward following a pretty bad injury in the Super Bowl and Jalix Hunt. Right? Like,
yeah, I get it.
It's questionable. Now, it was questionable last year. They won the Super Bowl, so we'll see how this plays out. The reason why I even bring it up is if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you are not trading TJ Watt to a team in the AFC.
No shot.
You are trading TJ Watt to a team in the NFC. And so right away, the first response that I see to Adam Schefter is the FanDuel Twitter account. And, they just ask who should they trade for TJ Watt. And they have 5 options. The fifth one is random question mark. You insert team name here.
Yeah, right.
The 4 teams that they mentioned, again, it's FanDuel doesn't have sources about trades and all that kind of stuff. But just for the conversation, the teams that they mentioned that could be in play. They do have the Eagles on the list at number 3. Number 1's the Falcons. The Falcons we'll see. I think the Buccaneers win that division, but you add TJ Watt, your defense gets better.
Yeah, please
immediately.
God, don't let that happen.
Green Bay is number 2, a team that you just went toe-to-toe with in the playoffs last year.
Don't let that happen because that could be a problem.
The Commanders.
Bigger problem.
And I'm sorry, I think we know Josh Harris pretty well. Josh Harris is not afraid to try to get the shiny, splashy toy.
It's always the wrong one, though.
True. True. If TJ Watt goes to the Commanders, that terrifies me.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
That terrifies me big time. And do I still think the Eagles are the overall better team? Absolutely. But that's a game wrecker, TJ Watt.
So this goes back to the whole conversation about do you make a move to block another move?
Yeah, see, I don't look at it that way. It's do I make a move to make my team better? And TJ Watt makes my team better. Like, I don't necessarily care about making a move to not let the Commanders get the move. But if it's a bidding war, like let's say it's Eagles-Commanders and it's who gives up that extra pick, like, yeah, I would rather my team get the player.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Now, I don't think it's going to happen for the Eagles. Like,
I don't either. But if it happens with one of the other NFC teams that are mentioned, I'll say Packers or Commanders before I say Falcons. Like, yeah, that's a cause for concern because he's at the age of 30, right? So he's a win now move. Like a team that's rebuilding, the New York Giants. Not that they need. I mean, they have edge rushers, but I'll just use the Giants as an example. The New York Giants are not in on TJ Watt, right?
No,
it's a win now move because of where he's at in his age and because of how much money you're going to have to pay for him. So that means win now teams are going to get him, or one of the win now teams in the NFC would go after him.
Yeah, you just gotta hope it's not Washington. Like, I'd much rather him be in Green Bay. Atlanta, actually, I take it back. That's the perfect spot for TJ Watt. Trade for him tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, look, would you be shocked if a team like the Rams, who have the youngest defense or one of the youngest defenses in the NFL, say, hey, we've done F them picks before?
I would be shocked only because Stafford's on his last legs. And you're going to need to figure out the quarterback situation.
Yeah. I mean, they traded for Stafford.
Yeah, but they did that after. Like, that was the F them picks. Quarterback's more important, and they have edge rushers. So
I got you.
I'd be much more worried about Washington.
Okay. Look, when I saw that happen yesterday, and my first thought was NFC teams, and then I saw the response from my friends at FanDuel, and they had the Commanders logo on there. That freaked me out, man.
You got to talk to your boys over at FanDuel.
Yeah, I'll
Stop scaring us.
I'll go talk to them. All right, coming up next, a lot of Phillies, the TJ Watt conversation, available in the text line. I also need to have a conversation to all of you Sixers fans who have reached a level of insanity for the second straight year, but it's gotten louder this year. It's Kincade and Salciunas, Connor and for John today, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports News Update.
Zack Wheeler does Zack Wheeler things. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings. He struck out 10. He did not walk a batter, and he didn't allow a run either. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2 with a walk. We'll see if he can string together a hit tonight when the Phils run it back against the Padres. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phils, and he's matched up against Nick Pivetta for the Padres as well. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a two-year, $5.3 million deal. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated all day long as far as free agency goes with the Sixers right here on The Fanatic. This update was brought to you by Dairy Queen. Fly into DQ today for a cosmic collision of flavors in their new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard treat for a limited time. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy, tastes good. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
It was love at first sight. You knew it was the one, the engagement ring you can't live without. But that was on social media, the latest trend. And where will you ever find that ring here in Philly? Well, of course, that's Benari Jewelers. That's because they've made a commitment to provide you with the industry's most vast selection. Unlike other jewelers, you'll find the highest caliber and most sought-after designers in the business, all in Benari's showroom. Then there's the Benari Collection. Their team of designers study the trends and stay on point, right up to date. So if they don't have it, no worries. They'll create it for you. At Benari Jewelers, style is of paramount importance, so they constantly curate the newest trends and latest styles, including that ring, the one you fell in love with. If they don't have it, they'll create it for you. Even better, with specifications perfectly designed for you. So remember, you don't have to settle for ordinary. Choose extraordinary. Choose Benari Jewelers at Exton and Newtown Square. Online at BenariJewelers.com.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get 1 free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and advanced fiber solutions, Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. Powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get up to a $500 prepaid card. Call today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Other restrictions apply.
The real and inside story on Philly sports is here. And it's powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Wherever you are, the Kincade and Salciunas show is accessible. Did you know you can watch the show on YouTube right now?
You can listen to the show anywhere via 97.5thefanatic.com.
If you missed a show, then listen to the on-demand podcast or watch on YouTube.
And of course, we are live weekday mornings 6 to 10 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 7:25 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor Thomas in for Johnny the K. John on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. So Connor and I are on the same Sunday League men's baseball team. And you saw me get banged up.
Yeah, your thumb's bothering you a little bit.
It's still pretty swollen. There's more color this morning. That's just how it heals, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. The blacker and bluer it gets, the better it should feel.
And the lack of mobility is part of it. It's because of just how swollen it is. So I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
At what point do you hang them up? I would love to play forever.
No. You don't get to ask that question because I hung it up for like 6 years, and then you just forced me to come back and play.
Yeah.
No, like
I just wonder, like, when if injuries start occurring just because you're getting older, like, here's the problem. So after the game on Sunday, it was bad, as you saw.
Yeah. You weren't feeling great.
I couldn't grip the bat. It was bad. Coop comes up to me, Dad, pick me up. And I was like, I can't.
Sorry, buddy.
And then Christy looks at me and basically goes, you better bleep and pick him up. I swear to God, if baseball's the and I'm like, come here, Coop. I got like tears coming out of my eyes as I'm.
You're burying the lead, though. I'm all banged up over here from street hockey. I was in goal last night. You got the thumb messed up. I mean, this is the morning show by athletes for athletes.
Yeah, this show's all. We're athletes.
Yeah, big time.
Oh,
we're men.
How are you doing, Brendan?
I have no idea where I am to this moment.
All right. There is a level of insanity going on with Sixers Twitter right now. It happened last year, but it's gotten a lot louder this year and a lot more aggressive. And I just have to know why. There are people pining for the return of Ben Simmons. And I just need to know why. Because you can't give me basketball. You can't. He still does not shoot, right? Spacing, which was a problem when he was here before, after, the first couple of years. Because the first couple of years, he was dynamite. I loved him. And then he just fell apart. I still can't believe the downfall of Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, well.
Because people complain about the lack of shooting, and yet he was still, Rookie of the Year, All-Star, you name it. But the spacing was an issue. And him disappearing in big moments was an issue. What makes you think it's going to be any different if he comes back? And again, I mean from a basketball standpoint. There are a lot of people that I think would love to see the story. From a content standpoint, oh, man.
Yeah, like,
bring it on.
Our job would get so easy.
Bring it on. If Ben Simmons comes back, that's a couple days of radio during the summer, right?
Yeah, but I'd rather do the boring 2024-25 Eagles season where you just win and there's no drama. Well,
right.
Less drama. No, the only way you can get to this point is if you are a individual, all due respect, who is certifiably insane. This is not going to work. You shouldn't even think about it. Ben Simmons is not coming back to this city for multiple reasons.
Well,
on
no,
and off the court.
He may want to come back.
I don't care. You're not welcome. Sorry.
Well, and that's like he quit on this team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, quit on this team. I am who I am. It is what it is. talking about Philly fans, all that kind of stuff. And I'm all for forgiveness, but like he quit on this basketball team after he made one of the worst in-game decisions we've ever seen, passing up the dunk and giving it to a guy that can't score a basketball, Matisse Thybulle.
That didn't need to be in there.
I just need to know from people that are pining for him to come back, why? Now, there are some people that say, all right, when Embiid is off the court, he can be that athletic 5 for you. If you're going small lineup and you're just running and gunning, and he could be that 0.5 with Maxey, and imagine the athletic ability of Simmons and Edgecombe going down the court. Like, I get it. I can see your vision, but there's going to be the time in like the first game he returns where he pushes the ball up court, gets to the free throw line, and stops, and then turns and either turns the ball over or ends that break because he's afraid to go to the basket. And so there are people that are pining for it. Now, is it the feel-good story? Is that what it is for people?
Dude, it's nostalgia.
Is that what it is?
People not having fun with the Sixers anymore and say, remember when I had fun with this team a couple of years ago? They didn't win anything, but at least I had a good time watching it because it's been a while since anybody's had a good time watching the Sixers. Now, the reality is Ben Simmons comes back here and he's going to just PO you to death because he's not going to do anything. In fact, he's worse than he was when he left here.
He has gone downhill. Like, he again, the first 3 years, he was good.
Yeah.
He was a good basketball player, regardless of the shot. That's why I would stand up for Ben Simmons, because regardless of the shot, he did things on the floor, his defensive ability, all that kind of stuff. He's not the same player. Nowhere near the same player.
No.
He doesn't have interest in playing the game of basketball. He has interest in the lifestyle that basketball has provided him. We found that out pretty clearly when he was here. So why are there people pining for it? Sean wants to talk about it. Sean, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's up, man?
Am I going crazy? Does everybody forget how bad it was at the end? Like, I just don't understand. This guy was a loser. This guy was a bum. He wouldn't dunk the ball on Trae Young and try to pass the blame away to Thybulle. He wouldn't take the Sixers when Embiid and them chartered the flight to come out.
Yep.
The guy is cancer and disease, and he's not even good anymore. Why would anybody want him? I feel like Sean Connery at the end of The Untouchables. I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house back on the ashes.
I understand you're making a movie reference. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't need him dead.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's Tuesday morning for laughs. But, like, for real, get him out of here. He's a bum. He's the worst. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Don't ever bring him
Thanks
back.
for the call, Sean. And he brings up the team trying to fly out to him, and he said no. Like, I don't get it. This is a guy that got his ego hurt when in front of thousands of people in a building, and then the many 1,000 people watching the game on TV when he passed up the dunk. And then when Doc Rivers was asked after the game, can you win a championship with Ben Simmons as the point guard? And he said, I don't know. And his ego got crushed, and he never wanted to come back here. All I searched on Twitter was Ben Simmons Sixers, and the very first tweet is, it's actually extremely funny what a good fit Ben Simmons would be for the current Sixers roster. Is it? Like, he's not a stretch 4, because they need a 4, right? Like if Gershon Yabusele does not come back, they need a starting 4. He's not a stretch 4. He can't shoot.
No, see, he's not a fit, I guess, because he does bring defense and he brings length. And if he does do what he did in a past life here, that could help this team. But none of that's going to happen. That's just not how this works. It's essentially Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, where it's just like, yeah, if he's the Green Bay version of him with this team, well, then maybe that can happen. But everybody else knows this guy's insane. He's washed. It's not a good thing for the locker room. It's not going to end in a good result for the team. Like, that's where we're at. Your brain is mush if you think Ben Simmons is a good option for this basketball team.
I just one of the tweets I just read. The Sixers and Ben Simmons reunion absolutely needs to happen. The time to do this is now. Ben fixes the point guard and rebounding issue this team has. Put feelings aside, both parties need each other. Joel Embiid needs to reach out and be the bigger man.
What?
Joel Embiid did try, and that team did try, and Ben Simmons was the one that said no. Ben Simmons does not fix the point guard position. He would not be the point guard. Like that, those days are done. Those days.
And hang on, didn't we just do a week of Ace Bailey shouldn't be here because he doesn't want to be here and because of what it could do to the locker room and everything? And that's a dude we haven't even seen at the NBA level, so we don't know. Maybe there's like major high upside there. This team, for once, might have a little bit of an idea to bring in like good vibe players that actually like playing with each other and are going to go out there and put in effort, right? And now we're talking about bringing back Ben Simmons.
And it's louder this year. I think last year was a bit of a bit.
And last year was in season like trade stuff too, which that.
But now all of a sudden people are seeing how this roster is playing out, and there are people that are legitimately saying that they should acquire Ben Simmons. And to me, you have reached a level of insanity because this Sixers team has just kicked us down over and over and over again to the point where we're now having like brain malfunctions because of it. Like you can't bring him back, guys. I'm sorry. I loved Ben Simmons. This isn't we had the guy put feelings aside. This isn't a feelings thing. This is just it didn't work, and it's not going to work this time.
But it also is a feelings thing because the way this fan base is going to treat him, like for all those people who are saying, oh, he fits, there's 1,000 more that hate this guy for what he did the first time here that are going to boo him at points. The second anything goes wrong, that's not a good environment.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, coming up next, we'll check our text line. If you want to chime in on the Ben Simmons conversation, you can call in or text in because we have another call that wants to talk about Ben Simmons. We are open to the phone lines at 610-632-0975. Also, some pretty big news in the city of Philadelphia yesterday. Just let people be happy. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's time for patio parties, backyard barbecues, and porch swings. But is your home ready? Our preferred pros can help turn your home into a summer oasis. From backyard decks to AC tune-ups and roof repairs, our preferred pros are ready to tackle all your home care needs. Call Preferred Pros today.
Clogged drains, leaking sinks, no hot water? Ace Hardware Home Services has got you covered. Schedule fast expert plumbing service at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
At Gerhard's Appliances, you can design your dream kitchen on any budget. Shop local and save big at Gerhard's. Find a local showroom or shop online at gerhardsappliance.com.
Volpe Enterprises. It's time to make your windows remarkable and affordable. Call Volpe Enterprises at 855-GO-VOLPE or visit online at govolpe.com.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Demand Rand. Thousands of innocent people get hurt every day. And what's worse, they think the insurance company will take care of them. Give me a break. Get an aggressive lawyer on your side.
Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Insurance companies aren't in the business of helping you. They're in the business of saving themselves money. Low-ball offers and endless delays. Demand Rand. He gets you paid. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. 1-800-90-LEGAL.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need With the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2-tool kit from the Home Depot for only $99 was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now's the perfect time to sign up for the MVP newsletter. Receive content specifically tailored to you. Get chances to win exclusive contests. Catch up with on-demand segments from Kincade and Salciunas, The Mike Missanelli Show, and Unfiltered.
What are you waiting for? Head to 975thefanatic.com/newsletter to subscribe now.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 7:40 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. So it's funny. Yesterday, we were talking about the buzz names in Philadelphia and how there's really only like 3 of them. Where if I was lazy, which I'm not when it comes to the show, you guys know the effort I put into this thing. If I was lazy and I just wanted to sit down, turn the microphone, and say, Joel Embiid, I could do a 4-hour show on Joel Embiid. No problem. It's just not how I operate, but I could do a 4-hour show on Joel Embiid because there are people that love him, like me. There are people that are on the opposite side. That's the beauty of sports talk debates, right? We really only came up with 3 players yesterday.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, Jalen Hurts. I don't even remember who the third person was. Oh, Aaron Nola. Nola was the third other player. Where you could do a 4-hour show on that one player on any given day. So Brendan tells us during the commercial break that just bringing up Ben Simmons and that there are people that want him back lit up the text line. Ben Simmons was numero uno a few years ago when it came to the buzzword topic. All you had to do was turn on the mic, have some sort of Ben Simmons topic, and for 4 hours we could talk about him. It was after any game he played well. The Ben Simmons supporters were loud. And any game where he passed up a shot, the Ben Simmons detractors were louder. It was amazing times with Ben Simmons. And me just bringing up the insane people that want him back for whatever reason, it's caused the text line to stir. What do we got, Gunner?
No name on this one. Actually, Joe from Berlin from an old text. He says, I would completely stop following the Sixers if they brought back Bum Simmons. He's my most hated Philly athlete and an abomination to every athlete who has ever played here with any heart whatsoever.
I would not watch. Like, I wouldn't go that far and boycott the Sixers, but I get why people feel a certain type of way. Julian on Twitter chimes in, or on YouTube, excuse me. Ben Simmons is a disgrace to this town. He should not be talked in the same breath as Philadelphia. But then there are other people that would love to see Ben Simmons back. I mean, I don't understand why you want him back unless it's just the story of it.
Yeah, or you got amnesia and last year just kind of wiped the hard drive because it was so bad. Like, I don't know. You got to have a memory of what that was when he was in this city. It was miserable at points.
And what did we kill, Tobias Harris for? Guy couldn't hit that corner 3 when he was pushed to that spot.
Right.
Because remember, this is still Joel Embiid's team. Even though people may not want that, it is still Joel Embiid's team. The offense will still go through Joel Embiid. It's going to be the combo game of Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. What those two guys need, because Joel Embiid is at the top of the key, setting those screens for Tyrese Maxey or getting the ball at the elbow and the high block, right? You need guys that can shoot. That's it.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons does not do that. Now, if people are pining for Ben Simmons to come here to be a 15-minute guy off the bench, okay, but is it worth that for 15 minutes?
No, it's absolutely not. It's not. The dude turned his back on not just the city, but remember, other guys in this locker room, right? they probably feel some type of way about this individual, especially the way he handled the exit from the city. So, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I don't know how many other ways we can explain this.
What else we got in the text line, Gunner?
We got somebody checking in saying the hidden reason we want Ben Simmons back is because we lack confidence in Embiid and Paul George. So hope is better than despair, I guess. I don't.
What hope?
Yeah, what hope, dude?
Wait, what do you mean? You lack confidence in those two guys, so you want Ben Simmons back here?
What hope? Like this is what I'm talking about. Like there are people that I think have reached a level of insanity with this basketball team because they have beat us up so much. I love them to death. They don't necessarily love me back. And now all of a sudden we want Ben Simmons. As Chris Klepp says on Twitter, the people wanting Ben back are the same people that go back to the old boyfriend or girlfriend that cheated on them. Yeah.
She hot?
All right. My God. Anyways, yesterday there was some news in the city of Philadelphia. The Philadelphia team to be announced later. In 2030, the WNBA is coming to Philadelphia, and we will see a WNBA franchise here in the city of Philadelphia. It's a part of the expansion that the league is doing over the next 5 years. There will be 3 new teams added in the WNBA, Philadelphia being the third and final in 2030. I don't necessarily know why it takes so long. I don't know. I'm sure there's some reason behind it, but 2030 will be the inaugural season where the city of Philadelphia has a WNBA team. Look, just let people be happy is all I'm going to say. So I've talked about this before with the union. All right? Go Philly. I'm not a big soccer fan. I don't go out of my way to watch the union. I'll catch them every once in a while if they're here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good plug.
Thank you. But other than that, I know they're in first place. I know they have a new head coach. I can't tell you what his name is. All right? I don't follow the union. I follow 4 teams inside and out every day. The Eagles have not played since February, and we talk about them in June because we follow OTAs, we follow free agency, we follow the NFL draft in April, we follow the NBA draft, we follow the NHL draft. We talk about a baseball team from the time they start in spring training in February to the time the season ends in October, and when it ends poorly, we start talking about how they can fix the team. And if they don't fix the team, like Dave Dombrowski this past offseason, we talk about that. So much of my time and energy and brain power, which isn't much, is directed to the 4 teams that we talk about the most. The Flyers don't get as much play, right?
Yeah.
Not saying any breaking news here. The Flyers are rebuilding. Unless the Flyers are in the playoffs or if they're on some ridiculous winning streak, we don't talk about the Flyers as much as the Sixers, as much as the Phillies, as much as the Eagles. But if somebody loves the Flyers, like our own Haley, that's great. I love that people love the Flyers. I love the Flyers in my own special way.
But not good enough for the people that love the Flyers, though. So it goes both ways.
And I
it
get
goes
that.
both ways.
I get that. I love the Phillies more than the next person loves the people all of a sudden start watching the Phillies because they were good again. Great. Well, welcome.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a competition.
It doesn't have to be.
But it also doesn't have to be a shunning of something you don't like.
So as soon as the WNBA gets announced yesterday that they're coming to Philadelphia, immediately it's, who cares? They don't make any money. Nobody's going to go. People will go. There will be people that are WNBA fans, that are a fan of the Philadelphia, whatever the name ends up being. Just like there are fans of the Philadelphia Union, and I know that not everybody loves soccer. Just let people enjoy it. All right? Now, am I going to be locked in? Probably not. You know why? Because their season starts in the summer, right during the Phillies. Do you know when their playoffs start?
I don't.
When the NFL is playing.
Yeah.
And when the Phillies are in the playoffs, the years they make the playoffs. I love football. Yeah. I don't watch the UFL. Why? because there's other sports going on at the time.
Yeah, but people are treating this like you're going to get Clockwork Orange and have your eyelids peeled back, so you have to watch every single game. Like, if you want to watch it, great. If you don't. This is good for some people who like this. For other people who don't, just do what you already like. It's not that big of a deal.
So, again, just let people enjoy it.
Right, it's a good thing.
If you're not going to watch it, I might be with you. And it's not because I'm anti-women in sports. I have so much time that I have to watch all these other teams.
Right, but like it's a good thing that people who wanted to see this happen have got this now to watch or will have this in 2030. And you don't have to go after them just because you don't want to watch it.
Exactly. Just let people enjoy it. That's all I got to say. All right, coming up next, we will reset today's topics. Also, speaking of the Eagles, it's July 1st. We got to find a way to bring them in. I read something this morning about some of the players on the Eagles that I didn't really notice until this morning when I read it. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Phillies shut out the Padres. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings. He struck out 10 batters, did not walk a batter, and did not allow a run either. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2 with a walk. We'll see if he can get his first hit tonight when the Phillies run it back against the Padres again. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phils, and he's matched up against Nick Pivetta. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated all day long, all free agency long, right here on The Fanatic. Any news coming out with the Sixers. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot, so it's time to get your grilling on. Pick up the Traeger Pro Series 22-pellet grill and smoker, now on special buy for $389, was $549. Smoke a rack of ribs or bake an apple pie, this grill is versatile enough to do it all. This summer, no matter how you like your steaks, your barbecues are guaranteed to be well done. Celebrate 4th of July with fast free delivery on select grills right now at the Home Depot. Subject to availability.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Coming up at 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
7:55 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Talking a lot of Phillies to start the show this morning. We opened up the Ben Simmons discussion because there are people that have lost their minds that want Ben Simmons back with the Sixers. We'll check our text line on that momentarily, but the genesis of our Phillies conversation is the return of Bryce Harper. But before the game yesterday, he spoke to the media, and he didn't really give like a ringing endorsement on his wrist.
Yeah, he said that it hasn't really gotten better. I mean, he says he feels better.
He basically said he reached a plateau. Like it's not going to get better than what it is right now. But even though it may not get better, I could make the case that it could probably get worse. And if it could get worse, then we're going to revisit the conversation of why he didn't get the procedure before the season started, during the offseason when he could have gotten it fixed. And again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know all the medical facts. I just speak off the facts that have been provided for us. The facts that have been provided for us from Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies is that he's been dealing with this since last season. He opted not to get a procedure because whatever team of doctors he consulted with said that he did not need it. He's been dealing with it all season long. We know that Bryce Harper was not Bryce Harper before he went on the injured list. The power was not there. We were all wondering what was going on. There was something off, and it ends up being this wrist injury. And now he's telling us that he thinks he can still play at that high level that we know of, which is great. But he also has said that he's looking at the schedule. He sees that they have a lot of Thursdays off, and they're going to be, if he needs to take days off, he needs to take days off. And I'm fine with that. Fine with that, right? But to your point, Connor, you're not taking days off in the playoffs.
No.
And so if this is something that's lingering, and I have said that if Bryce Harper is not Bryce Harper, they're not winning squat unless they have an incredible trade deadline where they make a splash. But if Bryce Harper is not Bryce Harper, odds are they're not going to win a damn thing. And then that will beg the question of why didn't you get the procedure last offseason? If you get it this offseason, it'll be even louder of a question. Like, oh, so you do realize that you need this procedure, but you didn't realize it last year. And this could be the last hurrah with this group.
It could be, and that would be a shame if this was something that prevented them from getting to the ceiling of this team in a year like this. And we're not there yet. This is a preemptive conversation, but it's one that is prudent to have today because he made those comments. And I don't think Phillies fans are going to be ecstatic about where Bryce Harper is, but I'll just continue to say we've got a lot of time left to try and figure this out. I don't want to freak out over something ahead of schedule because there will be plenty of time if this becomes a bigger issue than it's already been, where we'll be able to talk about it. But if that does happen, he deserves flack.
And I'm not freaking out. I'm just asking.
I know you're not.
I'm asking the audience at 610-632-0975 if it does play out this way where he's not himself and there's a big reason why they can't win in the playoffs, and it's because of a wrist that may have been able to been taken care of this past offseason. What's the reaction of Bryce Harper? Because Bryce Harper is a guy that has gotten very little criticism, deservedly so. Very little criticism from Phillies fans. But if we're talking about World Series or bust and it's held back because of a decision that was made during this past offseason, what's that conversation like?
It's not a fun one.
At all.
I'll tell you that.
Because this could be the end with this core group. All right, give us another text message. You be the judge, Gunner, whether it's a Bryce Harper-related text or I know we have a bunch of Ben Simmons texts, and there are people texting in that they would like to see him return. I just think you guys have all lost your minds.
We'll get to a Simmons one later on, but I got a Harper one pulled up right now. It says if Harper has surgery after the season, I'll be upset but not mad. If the doctors told him this past offseason that he could play through it, I'm not a doctor. Who am I to say to have surgery or not?
That's a important part of this. We don't know what he got medical advice wise.
Correct.
So if there was
That's why I'm trying to be very careful with how I talk about this, because when it comes to somebody's health, I never want to speak out of line.
Right, and I need the fan base to understand that as well. Is just like he could have gotten an opinion from a doctor to be like, you can play through this. It may not get worse. It may not necessarily get better, but if you feel like you can handle this, go after it. And Bryce Harper's a guy that's played through injury before. And he may have said, yeah, I'll take that chance based on medical opinion. So if it was a coin flip of like, you can play this season and he wants to do that instead of getting surgery, that's his right. And if in retrospect, it's like looking at a move by a GM or a president of baseball operations in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now you look back and you say that was the wrong decision. But if in the moment you can think about the thought process a little bit and say, okay, without the power of hindsight, I understand why you made that choice. That has to be factored in.
Yeah, I understand. All right, you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, H2 Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. I'm Andrew Salciunas with Connor Thomas. Johnny is out on vacation this week, so Connor is filling in for him, and then Connor will be filling in for me next week when John returns, and I'm out of here. All right, NBC Sports Philadelphia had an article this morning that I guess I knew, but when you read it, I was reminded of it, and I'm amazed by it. I'm curious if you guys realize this. 5 Eagles heading into 2025 poised for a Pro Bowl jump. So the Pro Bowl is a joke, like the Pro Bowl itself,
right?
The festivities, everything surrounding it. But being voted to be in the Pro Bowl is still an honor, especially if you have that in your contract, right? Like that is still
there are incentives.
It's still important. So forget what you think about the Pro Bowl and the flag football and the events and all that.
Forget
kind
about
of
the
stuff.
dodgeball. I do like the dodgeball.
I'm forgetting about the dodgeball. I'm forgetting about all that kind of stuff because all that stuff is nonsense to me.
Tic-tac-toe.
Think about it from the fact that these guys get honored and there's incentives built into their contracts if they get Pro Bowls, all pros, you name it. Number 1, Jordan Mailata. You know that he's not been a Pro Bowler yet?
I did not know that.
Number 2.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Number 2, Quinyon Mitchell, obviously he was just a rookie last season. Number 3, Dallas Goedert. Not surprised because of all the injuries.
Yeah.
He's also been playing in the same conference with George Kittle, so that's a big part of it.
There's some good tight ends in the NFC.
Number 4, Nolan Smith. Not crazy, only year 3, going into year 3. And last year he really exploded on the scene, but it wasn't until like the second half of the season. Number 5, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now,
too.
again, he's in the same conference with Justin Jefferson and
But so many of
CeeDee
these
Lamb.
guys back out, and then random guys get put in there.
I think maybe it was voted upon. Maybe
Okay.
Devontae Smith did participate.
Not the replacement level kind
Right.
Okay.
But the guys that are voted for. So the write-ups for those 2 players, Mailata, even though he missed 4 games in the middle of the 2024 season with a hamstring injury, you can certainly argue that Mailata was snubbed last season. He didn't make the Pro Bowl, but was voted as a second-team All-Pro. He's one of the cornerstones of the best offensive line in the NFL last season. Now he's the only member of the returning 4 who hasn't been to a Pro Bowl. Lane Johnson's been the 6, Landon Dickerson to 3, Cam Jurgens has been the 1. It's time for Mailata to get his first. Now for Devontae Smith, there's no question that Devontae is talented enough to be a Pro Bowler, but his numbers haven't been good enough. That's the downside to playing in a run-heavy offense when you're the number 1 option in the passing game. And as long as A.J. Brown is healthy, he's going to be the number 1 receiver in this offense. But maybe one year Smith will have a huge season. He already has 2 1,000-yard seasons under his belt and is plenty popular. He's also clutch, the dagger touchdown, all that kind of stuff. But that one was also surprising to me. Like, I get it. There's a lot of great players in the NFL and in the NFC, especially at those two positions, left tackles and wide receivers. But it's kind of amazing that when you read it, I didn't realize that they haven't been to the Pro Bowl because of how good they've been.
That one less so than Mailata. But the other thing you have to think about is in the past 2 years, the Eagles have been playing in the Super Bowl. Or past 3 years, they've been playing in the Super Bowl 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
but you're still voted
to
be in it.
I understand. But if we're talking about like replacement type stuff, if maybe they are counting that, they're not going to pick an Eagles player the past 3 seasons twice. That's not going to happen because they know they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl, so they wouldn't be able to attend. So that may factor into it too. It is wild, though. I understand the Devontae thing. I think Devontae is a big-time Eagles fans get it. I think, like, if you're deeper in the weeds of football, you get it. But I think on the national scale, he's forgotten about because of A.J. Brown, because of the way the Eagles run their offense. And
he's a quiet player, so he's not, like, every time Justin Jefferson scores a touchdown, we see the gritty.
If he was George Pickens, maybe.
Maybe.
Where it's just like constantly in the news cycle for better or worse.
But I feel like Reggie Wayne got his respect when he was still with Marvin Harrison. Anquan Bolden got his playing next to Larry Sticky Fingers.
That's awesome.
Great name. Reggie Wayne, and I love Devontae. Reggie Wayne, like with Peyton Manning, like that's a pass heavy offense. The Cardinals were the same way. It's just the Eagles are not a pass first team, or at least we're not this year.
I will say Reggie Wayne did not make the Pro Bowl until his 6th season. 6th season, and he had 1,000+ yard seasons in the previous 2. So in years 4 and 5, he had over 1,000 yards receiving. So I guess it's not out of the norm.
Yeah. I'm up in arms about Mailata. I'm not about Devontae. Okay. And it's not based on talent. It's a bit.
No, I'm not up in arms because, again, it's fan votes and all that
kind
of stuff.
But then again, you think about it. There's 3, 4 offensive or left tackles that make the roster. There's probably like 6, 8 wide receivers that make the roster.
Right. That is kind of amazing. I wonder, who were the Pro Bowl wide receivers last year?
I don't even know, man.
Come on, you don't have these written down somewhere?
No, I didn't watch that one this year.
That's kind of disappointing that you didn't have that.
I was busy thinking about the matchup in New Orleans.
Let's see, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, and Puka Nacua. So only 4 apparently. Oh, well, it's the flag. The flag football nonsense. Oh, no, here you go. Oh, yeah. It's only at 4.
It's only 4? Okay. So it's not like an NFL roster. It's just,
No.
So, yeah, all right. But still, it's amazing. Like, when I read those names, those 2 key guys to what your success has been over the last 3 seasons, getting to 2 Super Bowls and winning one of them, the fact that they weren't Pro Bowlers is just something that caught my eye.
More than anything else?
We're being slept on.
No, there's so many damn good players on this team.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of damn good players in the league. All right, coming up next, we have today's headlines. With Connor sitting in here, that means it's being led by Brendan Gunn. So today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn comes your way next. We'll check a couple text messages as well. Before that, it's Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Ray Dunn, Mike Missanelli.
When you know that they're not a contender, that's when you can enjoy a game to game. When they're a contender, you can't enjoy game to game.
Well, you can try to enjoy game to game. I enjoy watching Ranger Suarez pitch. That's a fun part of my day.
Fun, but at the end, you go, okay, is the rotation good enough to win something? That's the question you come up. Yeah, what Ranger did was nice, but is their rotation good enough to overcome the fact that they're weak in certain areas? That's all we consider.
The Mike Missanelli Show. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey guys, it's John Kincade, and I'm here to tell you that if you're buying a diamond, it can be a bit of a risky proposition because if you're not careful, you're going to overpay. It's not like buying a TV or buying sporting goods online because a diamond is different. And there are differences that are very, very slight that can affect its value in a huge way because diamonds that can have the same grading report on paper can end up looking very different, which affects their value. So don't risk it. Don't end up with an overpriced, cloudy, inferior diamond. Get the diamond she deserves at Benari Jewelers. Benari Jewelers in Exton, Newtown Square, Philly's trusted source for the highest quality, best cut, dazzling diamonds, and each one handpicked for brilliance. Each one graded by the most reputable gem lab. And at Benari, they look at 100 diamonds and they only choose like 5 or 6 of them to put in their showcases. So that's why when you see someone rolling in wearing a Benari diamond, you can tell them from across the room. It just has a special brilliance, a shine. It's what makes the difference. Isn't that what she deserves? Check out Benari Jewelers. You're going to thank me later. Showrooms in Exton and Newtown Square.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Colon cancer is the 4th leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. So let's talk about prevention and screening. Did you know that diet and exercise can reduce your risk? That screening can begin at home. And colorectal cancer is highly treatable if caught early.
This station is a part of the Beasley Best community of caring. For more information and ways you can help, visit 975thefanatic.com/caring. That's 975thefanatic.com/caring.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Metallico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how the Fanatic can help you market your products and services. Mike Missanelli and Ray Dunn. They have a lot to say about Philadelphia sports. The big stories you want to hear about. The Mike Missanelli Show, weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, we have today's headlines with Brendan Gunn coming up here momentarily. We'll check the text line before it, but real quick, congratulations to Aaron Nola. I know we haven't really seen much of him this season, but Aaron Nola officially got his 10 years of service time yesterday, which is an amazing feat for anybody in Major League Baseball. And Nola's a guy, I went to his debut start. I still remember I parked my car and sprinted to the ballpark.
See, I told you remember weird moments.
I do. Because I wanted to get there and see his first pitch. And I remember he got a base hit in his first game and everything. So 10 years of service time. I know he's a guy that drives us nuts, but he's a guy that up until this season was taking the ball every 5th day. So I give Aaron Nola a lot of credit. Now, somebody I don't give credit to, even though I love the Philadelphia Phillies to death, and their social media team, I think, does a spectacular job. Whoever put out the post yesterday, I don't know if they proofread it.
What'd they mess up?
Did you see the post?
No.
Oh. Think we can safely speak for everyone in the organization when we say it's been an absolute pleasure to have you around all these years.
R.I.P.
Then you
Sounds
drop.
like he died.
Then you drop down and says congratulations and here's to many, many more. So if you didn't see the photo that
sounds
says,
like a trade.
Yes, not the death part of it, but I see where your mind's at, Mr. Facebook Live. But 10 years of service time, there was a big photo of it, which if you didn't see that right away and you just read the post, then you're seeing what looks like a trade announcement.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Or and the picture's not black and white, is it? Because that's the other one where people put up like a retirement post or something or a trade, and it's a black and white picture for whatever reason. They do think what B Gun just
like
caused,
something happened.
Is this guy dead?
Yeah, I understand. Like you don't want to shortchange the post because that's a big. Yeah. But you could just start with like, congratulations on 10 years of service time, and then say we can.
Yes.
Speak for everyone. All right, give us a text message real quick, Gunner, and then we get the headlines.
All right, we got Natalie P checking in on this one, saying don't ever in your life compare Bryce Harper and Joel Embiid, obviously, to that texter earlier. Harper shows up in the postseason, doesn't sulk in the dugout most of the time, and when he's injured, he's always there. Harper also has taken care of his body for the most part. It's just unfortunate when he gets injuries. He hasn't gorged himself on fast food and Shirley Temples or practicing in UGG slippers.
Yeah, but you
apologize
know what?
now.
You know what, Natalie P? I love you and I respect you. He does gorge himself on raw milk. Which ever since the raw milk video happened, like it just seems like one thing after another. So maybe put the raw milk down, Bryce, and maybe you should gorge on fast food because I think I trust the fast food more than raw milk. What the texter was saying is that Bryce Harper is seemingly hurt every single season, which, again, last year he missed 17 games. So he's not hurt every single season. But the year before that, he missed 40 of them. The year before that, he missed 60 of them. So I get where somebody is coming from, but no, he is not hurt every single year. All right, it's time now for today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Today's headlines with the one and only Brendan Gunn.
Brought to us by who?
The one and only Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. And a quick one real fast from the get-go. It would be hard-pressed not to mention Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Yes. We finally reached the final 10 years of this thing.
Oh, my God. The final 10 years of it.
Is that today?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess July 1st.
Bobby Bonilla Day.
I forgot it was
Dude,
July 1st.
you just wait. Bobby Bonilla Day, we're going to have Mookie Betts Day. We're going to have Shohei Ohtani Day. Because all the Dodgers are just deferring all these guys' contracts nowadays.
Yeah, the difference is theirs might be multiple World Series celebrations.
Yeah, that's a good point. We had Ilya Brizgalov Day for a couple of years.
Is that still going?
No, I think it just ended like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, at
I'll
least
try to double check.
The Mets are playing good baseball right now, so their fans have something to look at to keep them feeling better.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
No, they stink.
They stink.
Yep. All right, what do we got?
Anyway, this time last year, we're all excited for the return of NCAA football, and it came out. It was a great game. Had a lot of fun with my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We won that national championship this past year, but they announced yesterday college basketball is returning in 2028, both men's and women's. Same feeling, return of that, or is it a little bit whatever?
It's not the same feeling.
Nah.
I loved the college basketball game. I had the one with Kevin Love on the cover when he was with UCLA.
Play in the courtyard before the game.
Yeah,
you know what? I think I had the same one.
And there's something to just jumping into tournament play instead of like doing the whole season. Like that's fun. Like
you don't want to play Iona? It's a big-time matchup.
Yeah. Like, I might get it. Like, NCAA, the football was, I got it release day. Basketball, I'll probably wait a little bit for when the price goes down a little bit.
Just in time for March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I like that they're bringing it back. It's not going to get the same response as the football game, though.
No, not at all. And that's because, like, 2K is an actual good game for NBA fans, and Madden, all due respect to our friends over at Madden, don't do enough to update their game, so the college football was like filling a hole in the market. It won't do the same, but it's still cool. More video games are a good thing.
I just can't forgive them for having Nova be the best team for 10 years in a row, and then there's no video game, and now they suck, and the game comes back.
Oh, all you had was real basketball.
Well, you should play Temple anyway, because that's where you went. By the way, Ilya's getting paid through 2027, so my bad. He was still getting paid. He's still getting paid. Still not done yet.
But moving on. We just talked about the WNBA earlier. We have a team coming to town. Yesterday, the All-Star player voting came through. Caitlin Clark was obviously the highest fan vote. She was 9th among guards amongst the players. Does it add up? Are they missing something? Or do they know the game better than the fans, which they probably do, right? Well, because I see there's a lot of outcry about it, but they got to know the game better than us.
They know the game better than us.
Yeah,
because, look, I'm not watching, and it's not a anti-women's sports thing. I just don't have the time. All right. But I also know that I follow people that talk about it on Twitter that Caitlin Clark's really good.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's this ongoing conversation about the league not liking Caitlin Clark, like players, and
Right,
the way
players,
that they
yeah,
treat
because of
her
how,
and everything.
and because of how much love she got, the second she stepped into the league. Which the thing with that is the WNBA has gotten more publicity recently than ever before.
Yeah,
and a lot of that is the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese effect, and I don't know why they wouldn't just kind of buy into that more.
Yeah, like build that up. That's what you do. You build the drama of the league so that you get more eyes on the league. I don't know.
Now, look, respectfully, Bryce Harper was 19-year-old coming to Major League Baseball. What did Cole Hamels do? I don't care. I'm going to plunk you. Right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about how sports are equal.
No, I got you.
They're not going to let a rookie, now second-year player, just come in and be considered the greatest player in the league.
And I get that. I like a little bit of fight there.
Yeah. So,
she'll still make the All-Star team.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will. All right, coming up next, from on Patterson, our man Ant Sanfilippo is going to be joining us. He joined us not that long ago to talk about the Phillies. Remember, I asked him about maybe moving Bryce Harper to the outfield. We'll get some Phillies talking with him. Also Flyers, because he covers the Flyers team, and they had a pretty interesting draft just this past week. Ant Sanfilippo joins us next here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Another shutout for Zack Wheeler. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He won 8 innings. He struck out 10, did not walk a batter, and did not allow a run either. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2. Unfortunately, he did draw a walk. We'll see if he gets his first hit since his return tonight when the Phils run it back against the Padres. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phils, and he's matched up against a former friend, Nick Pivetta. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated all day long as far as free agency and the Sixers go right here on The Fanatic. Anthony Sanfilippo joins the show next to talk Flyers and Phils right here on Kincade Salciunas. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers and Flyers and the Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hall of Fame sports writer Jason Stark.
I think he's very focused on the fact that he needs to make the big move and it could get pricey. And he said, these are the times when you pay a little more. So I don't know exactly what that means, but, if it's Nick Abel and one of his better prospects, I don't know exactly what that gets you, but gets you a pretty useful guy, I think.
Presented by Bet365. Every Wednesday on the Mike Missanelli Show. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
This weekend is what summer's all about, and Macy's July 4th sale is going on now with deals on everything you need to celebrate. Hosting? Turn your backyard into a party destination with 40 to 50% off outdoor entertaining. Beachbound? Turn heads in this season's hottest swimsuits, sundresses, and more. Get away with the kids? Superpower their summer with 25 to 60% off toys from Nerf. Plus, don't miss Macy's 4th of July fireworks live on NBC and Peacock. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Philadelphia, Radnor, Allentown, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 8:25 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor filling in for Johnny today and for the rest of the week. We'll be joined momentarily by our man Ant Sanfilippo from On Pattison. Real quick of the YouTube comments. And again, every once in a while, our YouTube feed wonders why I don't sometimes read the comments, and they get upset. But I think we're in a good place, me and the YouTubers. But this is one of the examples as to why, is because I would be distracted. One of the first comments I read is toenail cutters are extremely dangerous.
I don't think they are. Are they?
I don't even know where that conversation started. But I will say this.
Toenails.
Tommy John checks in. Somehow they got in the hot dog conversation. And I agree with Tommy John here. The Wawa hot dog is criminally underrated.
Yes, I thought you were going to say something bad about
it. No, the Wawa hot dog is an incredible item that I don't get often, but every once in a while, like when you're in the Wawa and you see the hot dog sitting there, you go, I'm going to get that because I know it's going to be freaking amazing.
I go 2 every time I get it.
Yeah, I'm a double dog guy.
Walk up there with the 2 plastic containers. I'm like, hit me up.
Absolutely. But it's a criminally underrated item, the Wawa hot dog.
Damn right. We're on the same page with that.
All right, let's head to the Comcast Business Hotline, where every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. This man does a tremendous job covering the Phillies, but also the Flyers, which we will get to when we speak with him. From On Pattison, Ant Sanfilippo joins us. Ant, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Morning, boys. How you doing?
We're doing good. We'll start with the Phillies, but we do want to get to the Flyers because of the draft from this past weekend. Good to see Bryce Harper back in the lineup yesterday, but I'm curious to get your opinion on his comments before the game started. Did you get a sense that, all right, this is going to be good, or is this something that you're going to keep an eye on closely? Because I didn't feel all that great after he spoke.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was more leaning more toward the latter. I wasn't the fatalist that a lot of people are on social media, but at the same time, I do think that there's a sense of management of whatever issue that he has in his wrist. I feel that he felt it was comfortable enough to get to a point where he had consistent days where it felt the same. It maybe stagnated and wasn't getting 100% better, but it also wasn't getting worse. And as he was swinging a bat, throwing a baseball, making contact, all those things, it was kind of plateauing at a spot that he was comfortable enough with to come back. That said, I do believe that he's going to be a little bit more judicious with this in the second half. And while Bryce would normally get an off day, one a month, one every 6 weeks, he might give himself an extra 1 or 2 in that same time span just to kind of, keep it where it's at. I would expect that if they do that, it would be around another off day. So there's a lot of Thursdays that they're off in July and August. I would bet that Bryce is off on a Wednesday, for example, give it 2 days to sit before he then comes back in for a weekend series, for example. So I think it's those kinds of things. But, yeah, I'm not sitting there saying, hey, this is all gone, no worries, see you later. I think that that's something that they're going to monitor the rest of the season. And who knows, maybe if for the rest of his career, if it doesn't seem to go away.
So, believe it or not, in Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio, there is a show, and it's this show, that tries to base their opinions off of fact and fairness and not just yelling and screaming and being over the top and not knowing all the information, which is why we also speak to our guests. So, Ann, I want to ask you, I am asking the audience today, if this season does not amount to a World Series and Bryce Harper's wrist is a factor, right? He's not not from this planet Bryce Harper that we have seen in the playoffs in previous years. And he gets some sort of procedure done during this offseason that he neglected to get this past offseason. I'm asking the audience sort of what the reaction would be, because Bryce Harper is typically a guy that has not gotten much heat from Phillies fans. So let me ask, to be as fair as possible, what went down this past offseason, to your knowledge, that led to him not getting some sort of procedure that has obviously played into this season?
So, look, I don't know what the injury specifically is. Is it tendonitis? Is it nerve-related? You don't know. Those are kind of the two things that most people have speculated, because when you have a lot of inflammation, fluid in your wrist, that kind of pain, and there's no structural damage, there's no fractures or breaks or tears, then it's usually something like that, right? So, when you say, why didn't he get something done in the off season? Look, a lot of times medical professionals are going to tell you that, let's give this an opportunity to rest, see how it gets, see what it looks like, and then we'll reassess later. It's probably one of those kinds of situations, right, where you have something that's a little bit more chronic, and then you realize, okay, maybe we do have to look into this a little bit further, and then the year later, you get the procedure done. A lot of times, those kinds of things happen in sports, and so I don't necessarily blame Bryce and say, fix it now so that I'm good for the season. He's probably taken the advice of some doctors and say, you know what? This can clear up without surgery. We could probably make this work so you don't have to miss any time. But if next year you're in the same place, maybe we revisit it and talk about it in a different way. So I think that's probably the most likely scenario, although I can't say with any certainty.
So Zack Wheeler just capped off a stellar month of June with his start last night. And we were talking earlier in the show about where he's at in just over like the last 30 years of Phillies baseball, the pantheon of starting pitchers. Where is he for you?
He's the best of this decade or this century, because he's got a little bit more longevity than Roy Halladay. Like Halladay, I still think was the better pitcher career-wise. But when you look at just time in Philadelphia, Halladay had 2 to 3 incredible seasons. Wheeler's now 6 years in, right? So to me, Zack Wheeler is the best pitcher the Phillies have had since we've hit the 21st century. And it's interesting, I really think when we look back on this era, and we're 25 years from now talking about who the greatest pitchers in the franchise's history were, I have a hard time not putting him, on your top 5 list, because he's doing things with a level of consistency that is unrivaled in the sport for a long time. There's very few guys who can do what Zack Wheeler has done for the Phillies in the last 6 years. So, I think we are in the midst of something that's very, very special, and that in the future we're going to look back at and say, that was one hell of a pitcher that the Phillies had.
Now, the argument to the contrary, and nobody's anti-Zack Wheeler, but he doesn't really feel like he has those signature moments with the Phillies.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that compared to like a Roy Halladay no-hitter in the postseason?
Sure. And of course, I mean, everybody remembers those things, of course, because those are signature moments. But the thing about Zack Wheeler is it's the same thing almost every start. And when it's not, that's the anomaly. That's the thing that sticks out to you is when he has a bad start. But when you go into a start when Zack Wheeler's starting, you are almost guaranteed 6-7 innings, 2 runs or less. Like, that's pretty much what you're getting, Zack Wheeler every time out. And I can't think of a pitcher who had in Philadelphia who's had that consistency, maybe ever. Because really, even if you go back even further, back to John and my generation, where you had the Steve Carltons of the world, like he had great seasons like that, but he also had seasons where he was a little bit less than that, right? And you're like, well, what happened there? Oh, that was just an off year, but, he came back and won 4 Cy Youngs, right? So he won it another year. Okay, but Zack Wheeler puts up the same start almost every time out, and that's pretty incredible. And I think that's the thing that's most impressive about him. It's that it's the same thing. It's not, so maybe and he's also not flashy. He's just a guy who goes out there and just does it, right? And so it's very low-key, but very, very, very successsul.
Way to be on the right side of history with me on this one, Ant, when it comes to Zack Wheeler. All right, real quick, the Flyers draft, they obviously made the trade up early in the first round. I'm just curious to get your overall reaction to the Flyers draft. I know there were some people upset that they passed on players. There are people upset that they traded up for the player that they acquired. They thought that they could have fallen. So I know you cover the Flyers. I know you spoke with people within the Flyers organization. Just sort of address some of those concerns from the Flyers fans that were active on social media last week.
So here's the thing that I always say about the NHL draft, and I say the same thing about baseball too. It's a lot different than football and basketball. Like in football and basketball, we get to watch these guys play in college, right? And they're on TV, and we can make assessments of these players because we're watching them with our own eyes. In hockey and baseball, we don't see these guys play. We have no idea what they're going to be. It's a lot more of a crapshoot also when you're projecting teenagers what they're going to be in 10 years, right? So it's a lot harder to kind of determine that. You're not coming right into the league like you do in football and basketball and playing right away, and you don't have that instant analysis of these players. You got to have to wait. So I don't watch them. I couldn't tell you anything other than what the same thing that the fans see when I read the scouting reports or maybe watch a couple YouTube videos. So I don't get to watch them in junior hockey or in the NCAA or overseas, so I don't know. But what I can tell you is that in talking to a lot of people around the sport, the first pick, Porter Martone, they think is a home run. A lot of people believe best scoring winger in the draft, going to be a guy who's going to probably have a career projecting-wise that they're projecting him to be like a Corey Perry type. Corey Perry won a Hart Trophy. He's won a Stanley Cup. He's been to the finals the last 5 years. You're talking about a player who is going to be a Hall of Famer someday, right? So if that's the case, if that's what his upside is, if that's what he's going to be, you're projecting him as that, well, then the Flyers hit a home run with that one. As far as Nesbitt is concerned, the way I always look at it is this. If a team identifies a player that they want, just because they trade up and then take that player and you think there's a better player at that spot, they weren't trading for the pick and then saying, okay, now what do we do now that we're here?
Right.
They're saying, this is the guy we want. We think he might go and pick A, B, or C. We need to get in front of those teams. That's how we're going to get the player we want. So I don't look at it and say, oh, well, they should have taken this guy or should have taken that guy instead. It was, we didn't think we were getting this guy at 22. We needed to go up to get him, and felt we had to go to 12 in order to do so.
And after the NHL draft happened, I talked about a guy who was just attacking me on social media because I put out a VJ Edgecombe sort of reaction video, and he goes, "Can't wait to hear your analysis on the Flyers." I'm sorry, I actually could watch Baylor basketball and not whatever Russian hockey league on some sort of illegal stream that's probably buffering. Right. So, no, I don't have analysis for some of the guys in the NHL draft. And we appreciate the time, man, as always. Thanks, and we'll bug you down again down the road.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Anytime.
There he is. There's Ant Sanfilippo on the Comcast Business on. That's why I love that he called out the people that do the baseball. there's people in this city that pretend like they know anything about the players that are drafted in Major League Baseball. Like, unless it's Paul Skeens and, like, the world's talking about them, you mean to tell me you're watching the kids' high school games?
If so,
you're going
kind of
on,
weird.
You're going on, what is that website or the app they're using nowadays? Streamer? Like, you're going on Streamer to watch high school baseball?
Some people have more time on their hands than you.
No, they don't. They lie to you. It's unbelievable.
Should be on a list.
Coming up next, we'll check our text line. Also, how dumb can some franchises be? Imagine going all in for what I believe is nothing. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We want to hear from you, so text us at 610-632-0975.
You text every day, so why not text us?
Your opinion matters. Shoot us a text at 610-632-0975. Don't want to call? You can always text us.
You've got our direct line, so text us anytime.
On a plane? Text us. On a train? Text us.
At the game? Text us.
Driving a car?
Yeah, pull over, then text us.
In a bar? Text us. 610-632-0975.
97.5 The Fanatic.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022. 800-709-7022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Demand Rand. I'm Rand Spear. I've seen insurance offers of a couple $1,000 turn into a couple $1 million. Don't settle for less. The choice is clear. Demand Rand.
You heard Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Insurance companies want to pay you pennies, but you deserve big money. Medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. Rand will fight for every dollar. Don't wait. Get paid. Call now. 1-800-90-LEGAL.
4th of July savings are here at the Home Depot with up to 40% off, plus up to an extra $600 off select appliances with free delivery like GE Profile. Simplify your routine with GE Profile appliances. From refrigerators with autofill pitchers and multiple dispensing options to all-in-one washer-dryer combos that can wash and dry a full load in under 2 hours. Shop 4th of July savings on top brand appliances now at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $396 or more. Offer valid June 18th through July 9th. U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Metallico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services. Phillies Sports Tonight. Discussion on the big stories we've been talking about all day. Coming up tonight at 6 on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas. Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
8:42 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Thanks to Ant Sanfilippo, who joined us last segment. It's a Tuesday, which means the entire 9 o'clock hour and some before the 9 o'clock hour even starts. Amy Fadul will be joining us here in studio. Always love having Amy in Midway through the 9 o'clock hour, I can't wait to have a conversation where I know I will get ripped.
Really? You're on the wrong side of this one?
Yes, but I will try to make it sound as little old man yelling at clouds as possible. But the reason why I'm saving it for Amy is because Amy has 2 kids, and Coop's not at the age yet where I can really have the opinion. But I'm curious, with a single man who goes to the ballpark often, a recently engaged man over there, a mother of 2, I'm curious to get the different opinions, and maybe you guys all gang up on me. It's possible. We'll have this conversation midway through the 9 o'clock hour today.
I'm excited.
All right, before we get back to the text line, just real quick, this is like a minute or two. Are the Steelers like dumb?
Yes and no.
So they're going all in. They're going all in, unless they trade T.J. Watt, which would be crazy. But they're going all in for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. Is that smart?
Maybe.
I could argue they're just dumb because what are they doing? They signed DK Metcalf. They trade George Pickens out of town. I know he's a pain in the ass, but if you're going to go all in making these kind of moves, you might as well keep the pain in the ass on the team for the 1 year you're going all in.
Now, Jonnu Smith's a nice player, so they're getting a good tight end out of this. But I don't know. Like, I get it. Aaron Rodgers is better than Mason Rudolph. That is a fact. Even at 40 years old, he's better than Mason Rudolph. But are you basing your season off of we got a better quarterback than the guy that was here? Or are you basing your season off of whether or not you believe you can win a Super Bowl? And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is winning a Super Bowl.
Right, but that's what this all hinges on. And obviously they do, or they wouldn't have signed him, right? So this is a funhouse mirror version of the Rams and Stafford. Right, I can kind of make that comparison a little bit, where it's just like I understand
34 at the time.
That's why funhouse mirror.
But does all in have to mean winning a Super Bowl? This team hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
Right, but if you're committing to the circus, which you do when you sign Aaron Rodgers, then what? We're going to make fun of them for putting on the face paint and the funny red nose? Like, you already went in on the clown show. You might as well go all in on the clown show.
Yeah, but then you set your franchise back. Like, if this doesn't work. By the way, Stafford was 33 when they traded.
Right, but set him back from what? The Steelers are in the quietest NFL purgatory of any team. It's gotten louder, but they've not been any better off than some of those teams. Like, let's just say the NFC South. Where it's just like, okay, you might go 500 and play a playoff game, and maybe that's good enough for you. Just because the Steelers haven't been viewed like that historically, they've kind of gotten away with it more than they probably should have.
Yeah.
But, hell, might as well, right? If you're already going to have Rodgers, you might as well do it. I don't think it's smart, but it may be their only play.
Did they draft a quarterback?
I think they did.
Did they?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of...
Yeah,
yes, they did. The local kid.
No,
the local kid from Ohio State.
They drafted Will Howard.
Yeah.
In the
downtown.
In the 6th round. But, like, is Will Howard, like, their future? 6th round draft? Like, to me, that's let's take a flyer on a guy.
Yeah, exactly. They're not in a good spot.
And so now Rodgers is going to retire. It's already been pretty clear he's retiring after this season. So now you're just doing the same thing. And you just... Next year, it might be another aged veteran that just doesn't do drugs.
Sure, but next year's Will Howard, and it's a tank for a pick, and you go get a quarterback there. But if you're already doing Rodgers
this upcoming draft is the big quarterback draft. Like
I know.
God bless Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles, man. All right, what do we got in the text line, Connor? Or
That's Brendan.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and read it, Con.
I don't have any text over here.
We got Ben from Atlantic City checking in saying Bryce Harper has the weight of the team on his shoulders. He'll never admit it, but he knows the core of the team is on him. Him not having surgery is not on him at all. If he had teammates he knew could step up and fill the void in his absence, he probably would have had it given he'd be back for the postseason. All this goes back to Dave Dombrowski and his lack of acquisitions and moves in the offseason.
No. Again, to make it clear, I'm not talking about the procedure now. I'm talking about getting the surgery back in December when he was saying it was bothering him still.
Yeah, he's not getting it now. Anyone who thinks that's on the table, no.
The dude played with with Tommy John.
Yeah, he's gonna play through it
and hit home runs. Like the guy literally had Tommy John surgery because of his UCL. Yeah, I'm not asking for him to get a surgery now. I hope that's not how this conversation has come off, and that texter just misunderstood what was going on. But during the offseason, when he had time, and maybe he misses a month or two to start the season, but that's a month or two to start the season. Now, again, we don't know if surgery is required. There's still a confusion with what the injury is, which is also alarming, that we don't really know what the deal is. We just know it's wrist.
See, that's the weird thing with me with this whole thing. If I don't know something, out of sight, out of mind. And that's just me with everything. Not
Do you
even
know what's wrong with Joel Embiid's knee?
Nope. And I'm not I don't know.
Out of sight. Joel Embiid can't play half the time.
Yeah, we're gonna know.
And
eventually.
we don't know what his knee is. It's just it's like empty. There's nothing in there.
I'm very good at shutting off the little part of my brain that works when it comes to stuff like this.
They just drain it out every other week.
Yeah, exactly. Now, back-to-back trade Harpers on YouTube. No.
Stop it.
No.
Trade Wheeler first because he's not as good as Roy Halladay.
Oh, my God. You guys are insane. All right, coming up next, Amy Fadul will be joining us for the remainder of the show. Again, around 9:30, 9:20, 6 to be exact. I have a potential old man yelling at clouds conversation, but I'm curious how you guys feel about it. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Another shutout for Zack Wheeler. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings. He struck out 10 batters, did not walk a batter, and did not allow a run either. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2. He did draw a walk, but we'll see if he can get his first hit tonight when the Phils run it back against the Padres. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phils, and he's matched up against a former friend. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated all day long, all week long, right here on The Fanatic as far as Sixers and free agency goes. This update was brought to you by Rheem. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Rheem. Stay cool with a high-efficiency AC system from Rheem, RHEEM. Find your Rheem Pro partner at thereemteam.com. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Early Birds with Andrew DeCecco.
Keely Ringo, who I think really just needs to go out there and get his opportunities and get his feet wet.
The premier Birds insider.
He was largely relegated to special teams. He became one of the NFL's top gunners. So, he was making an impact, but now he has a chance to become a starter and join Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell as the new faces in the Eagles secondary.
Listen to him Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's time for patio parties, backyard barbecues, and porch swings. But is your home ready? Our preferred pros can help turn your home into a summer oasis. From backyard decks to AC tune-ups and roof repairs, our preferred pros are ready to tackle all your home care needs. Call Preferred Pros today.
Clogged drains, leaking sinks, no hot water? Ace Hardware Home Services has got you covered. Schedule fast expert plumbing service at Ace Hardware Home Services LandisBlockServices.com.
Landis Block transforms your backyard into a dream oasis. Visit LandisBC.com to start envisioning your paradise today. From paving to landscaping, Landis Block, your backyard, your paradise.
Great news from Water Furnace, New Jersey. With new state incentives and a 30% federal tax credit, now's the time to switch to geothermal heating and cooling. Visit waterfurnacenewjersey.com.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
Philadelphia, Radnor, Allentown, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Skip the candlelight pasta and do date night differently. F1 Arcade is part upscale bar, part off-the-track racing experience. You and your date can grab craft cocktails, order shareable plates, and then hop into a simulator and see who really drives the relationship. Fast tracks, good vibes, and even better company? Win or lose, you're both in for an unforgettable night. Visit F1 Arcade, located at 1330 Chestnut Street in Center City, or book your experience now at f1arcade.com.
4th of July starts with what's on the grill, and Wild Fork has you covered. Grab grilling essentials like their hamburger bundle, 10 patties for $10. Are you kidding me? Or pick up hot dogs and sausages for as low as $4 a pound. Looking for some steak? Try Wild Fork's Prime Patriot Bundle. This all-American trio includes a bold and juicy Black Angus bone-in cowboy steak, a flavorful and versatile beef outside skirt steak, and the crowd favorite, Prime Beef Picana. Shop in store or online at wildforkfoods.com.
Colon cancer is the 4th leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. So let's talk about prevention and screening. Did you know that diet and exercise can reduce your risk? That screening can begin at home. And colorectal cancer is highly treatable if caught early.
This station is a part of the Beasley Best community of caring. For more information and ways you can help, visit 975thefanatic.com/caring. That's 975thefanatic.com/caring.
Wherever you are, the Kincade and Salciunas show is accessible. Did you know you can watch the show on YouTube right now?
You can listen to the show anywhere via 975thefanatic.com.
If you missed a show, then listen to the on-demand podcast or watch on YouTube.
And of course, we are live weekday mornings 6 to 10 on 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 8:55 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll be joined momentarily in studio for the remainder show by Amy Fadul. 76 rerouting traffic. Is that the report?
That is. Unbelievable.
Traffic and transit on the twos.
Doesn't she get an escort, like a police escort or anything? Like
she deserves one. Yeah, she absolutely deserves one. So Amy will be here soon. Can't wait to talk to her about the Sixers because we haven't had her in studio since the draft happened. And, of course, some of the moves that have been going on around the NBA. Speaking of moves around the NBA, yesterday we spoke about that random out-of-nowhere report that the Nuggets have previously shown interest in Paul George. Well, that Michael Porter Jr. dream is dead after the Nuggets traded Michael Porter Jr. yesterday and an unprotected 2032 first-round pick to the Nets for Cam Johnson, who is another player that a lot of people wanted here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So 2 players off the board
2032 first round. That could be like Cooper Salciunas at this point.
Could be.
My goodness.
7 years from now, yeah, I'm sure they'll be letting 10-years play in the NBA at that point.
That's not a real year, 2032.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Don't you worry. Amy's here.
As I hit myself with the
Hi,
microphone.
Amy.
Hi, guys. Sorry I'm late.
How was rerouting traffic?
Oh, it was great.
Was
well,
it
actually,
fun?
I was able to drive on the shoulder, so it was
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, Amy, the majority of the show today has been about Bryce Harper and his comments yesterday before the game. Let's play him one more time in case people are just tuning in and haven't heard it yet. Bryce Harper returned to the lineup yesterday. It was great to see him, standing ovation. I was in the ballpark. It was great to see him back with the walk-up song, and, they're playing the Padres, so everybody's thinking of Bedlam at the Bank. But before the game started, Bryce Harper spoke about his injury status, and I'll let you guys be the judge. Take a listen.
Bryce, ultimately, what went into your decision, and why was it time for you to come back?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to
take any other steps forward of feeling better or anything like that. I thought we were kind of at a standstill of it feeling the same the last couple days, and from BP to live and things like that, kind of gave us the same results each day. So I thought today was a good one.
Is it something you're going to have to manage, though, in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. I'm not sure yet what that's going to feel like. So we're going to, as I go, I think, and as I know you guys will, and Tomper as well. So we'll see, how I feel tonight, tomorrow, and, go from there.
You said last year you played through it. Does it feel any better or worse than how you played through it last year?
Yeah, no, it feels better. It feels way better than where I was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was. So I'm happy with where we are. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how I feel each day. If I need to take days off or figure those days off. I know we have Thursdays pretty much all the way till the middle of August off. So that'll be good for it. But I'm just not sure yet. We're gonna, like I said, it's kind of been at a standstill the last couple of days of feeling good. So hopefully it stays there.
You feel you can play your best level feeling the way you do now?
Yeah.
All right, so that was a roller coaster as you're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPN, HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group Station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. It's just the roller coaster ended at the top.
Yeah.
Because
that was all you needed.
He still believes he can play at his high level. But a lot of the other answers were like, yeah, things are good. Yeah. Things are not so good.
Not great.
So
I'm already planning my days off.
What did you make of that pregame availability yesterday?
I mean, I enjoyed it for its exceptional honesty, right? I mean, here was a guy that was clearly dealing with an injury, the same injury that he's had before, and it's been lingering, and he thought maybe if he could take some time off. But I appreciated the honesty of it. Like, listen, I'm just telling you guys, my wrist isn't 100%. It's probably going to bother me, and I'm already planning my days off. But I was glad at the end, yes, we needed that. You needed to come up because you were riding that, and we were on the downslope. You're like, oh, this isn't good. No, now we're up. Now the ride is good.
Yeah.
So I needed that last part.
Yeah, I heard it, and it didn't really surprise me all that much. It seems like that was the idea as he was rehabbing it. This may exist. He's going to try and play through it at some point. Rest probably won't fix all of it because it didn't this offseason. And I don't think, not that it's not a valuable clip because of where he's at, but I don't think it was new information. I think just hearing it from him makes it feel a little bit more real to some people that this is an issue.
Yeah.
And something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think him voicing it was like, you knew it was an issue. It wasn't surprising information that this has been lingering. Clearly it had, because he had been on the DL or the injured list since beginning of June?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it had been, we're talking 3 weeks now. So I think that everybody realized it was probably something that he thought, all right, if I just take this time, it'll get better. And I thought that was so honest at the beginning. He was like, this is it. This is as good as it's going to get, and rather play through this rather than shut it down.
Now, I've been worried since hearing that yesterday. I'll be honest with you guys. But again, if I sit down and think about it logically, he's not going to take 70 swings in a game. So he took 70 swings the other day, and he felt good enough to come back to playing Major League Baseball. He's going to take maximum 5 swings probably in a game. A couple swings and misses here and there, a couple of connections. He's not going to swing all that much. But one of the things I've been asking the audience today, Amy, and again, we try to do this show with as many facts as we possibly can. I have not talked to a doctor that has told me that he needed a procedure. I'm just basing this off of nothing was done this past off season, and the injury is still lingering. Could it have been something that's been fixed? If they do not reach the World Series and Bryce Harper's wrist is clearly a factor, and then he gets some sort of work done this upcoming offseason, what is the reaction from Phillies fans that he may have been able to do this past offseason, entering what feels like the last run with this group of guys? And if they fall short, because Bryce Harper's been a guy that has not gotten much criticism from this fan base since he's been here.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought of like, is this a fixable thing? Is it something you go in, clean it out, repair it, whatever, what have you, with the wrist injury? And why not do it last year to prevent this possible outcome this upcoming offseason? Yeah, I mean, of course people are going to have their opinions of it, and I think the opinion of it would be that why wouldn't you just take care of this as soon as possible?
Right.
I think the devil's advocate in that is like we didn't know that it was going to be this bad, or maybe he didn't realize it would linger, and that he thought the off season, maybe he started spring training. He was like, "Ooh, this is actually worse than I thought." I'm not really sure what the
Right,
process
we don't know,
was.
and it's his body, and I don't know. I don't know.
And here's a guy that's never really. Let's be honest. He hasn't had a lot of time on the injured list in his career. He hasn't had these catastrophic type injuries where he's missed large chunks of time. Not that this was a large chunk, but he's missed months here and there when you add it all up. But he's not like a guy that is constantly injured, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's just our Philly fan PTSD.
Well, because we just watched Embiid. I mean,
we watch it all the time.
That's the guy that I just brought. That's the guy I brought to start the show. Embiid got crushed, deservedly so, for participating in the Olympics. I thought it was a horrible decision. I love Joe. I thought it was a horrible decision at the time. Is that the reason why he wasn't healthy this year? Maybe it was a coincidence. I don't think it helped by any means. We crushed him for not doing what people believe was the right thing.
Right.
If Bryce Harper did not do what maybe some doctors thought was the right thing, but he sided with the other doctors that said, let's see how this goes. And if it doesn't work out, then he should hear it a little bit from Phillies fans. We're talking about World Series, not just getting to the playoffs.
But that's the thing. It's like he's on a much longer leash because he has performed at the highest level and he has come through for this team. But yeah, your point about, I know you guys were talking about earlier, this being like a window that's closing, I think is probably what's going to linger more for people
That's
than
the
it is
scary
the fact
thing,
that than the fact that like, oh, it's something good, because we know that Bryce Harper's going to be fine and he's going to perform and it's going to be all well and good. But him at his peak right now with this team is really what you want to see. And hopefully it doesn't come to fruition. Hopefully we're not talking about this.
Right.
And he is able. The thing is, he has such a violent swing.
Yes.
You mentioned it. Like maybe he only swings 5 or 6 times, but they are aggressive
violent,
swings.
yeah,
big time.
Ask his back,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
he's been dealing with for a couple of years.
You wonder, like maybe, I mean, I would never, but maybe you tweak something else there for a second and just calm it down.
Knock on a little wood there. But the thing is, we can't treat this like Bryce. If he listened to medical advice that said, hey, resting this may work.
Right.
And there was also the alternative of you could have done something he picked. He backed the wrong horse maybe. But he didn't take the horse to the glue factory himself. Right. Like he made a conscious decision. It's not self-sabotaging. It's not team sabotaging. He may have made a decision with incomplete information that we all have now. And
Maybe it's a 50-50 shot.
But my Philly sports happy place with Bryce Harper is the conversation we had when he had Tommy John. He pushed that because he was going on vacation. A lot of people are like, how, like, he's putting vacation over this team? And then he comes back from that faster than any player in the history of the sport and performs. Like, he is still Bryce Harper.
And that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, it comes from a place of, I want to make sure I'm helping my team. I want to make sure I'm out on the field. I know how important this lineup is with me in it. It doesn't come from a self-serving type of vibe. He doesn't give off of that. He never has, really, in his time here. So I think that's why people would give him a little bit of grace when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be frustration if it comes to that point. I just hope it doesn't come to that point.
Yeah, this is much more Embiid playing agaget the Knicks, coming back probably faster than he should have, than him playing in the Olympics.
Now, be careful with your horse comment, because didn't you feel the wrath of somebody before with your horse?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
be careful.
I can't make the
I
horse
said
analogy
something
there?
about the horse glue.
Yeah, he made a horse glue comment. He got
pro horses.
He got the
the damn horse that knocked Smarty Jones off. I said I wish it was.
He got the
never.
Oh, well, see, that's different. Now you're trying to openly kill him.
Gunner got the wrath of.
That's like roping in Bryce Harper with Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
All right,
that damn Stonehill.
So, Amy, around 9:25, I'm gonna probably have an old man yelling at clouds take. Yes. I've been saving it for when you were here because you are a mother of 2.
Correct.
So we'll get to that around 9:25. But before we do that, let's get some more business done first, because that's not necessarily business. This is business. The Sixers draft took place last week, and we can get Amy's reaction to that and some of the other moves that have been going on around the NBA, as there are people still telling themselves that there is some sort of championship window based off of hope, and also the insane people that want Ben Simmons back. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy Fadul with us for the remainder of the show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Do you feel unfulfilled? Do your afternoons feel like Groundhog Day because you keep hearing the same old tired takes? Good news. There is a solution to your afternoon drag.
Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. 1 4-hour dose every weekday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. will sharpen your mind, give you the knowledge you need, and add that boost of energy needed to make that drive home.
Just turn the dial. It's that easy.
Make the switch. Unfiltered. Weekdays at 2 p.m. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. For fans of all ages, if you have a sports talk radio problem, call 610-632-0975.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. Every year, millions of people are hurt in car accidents. The numbers are overwhelming. But if you're injured in an accident, don't feel overwhelmed. Call Lundy Law. We'll remove the stress and work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. We hope we never meet because of an accident, but if we do, we're here for you. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
We gathered real Pennsylvania seniors and asked them how they would benefit from an extra $1,000. Here's what they had to say.
Everything is so expensive these days.
Car expenses, repairs.
My groceries, heating costs.
Medications. Sure, I could easily spend $1,000 like that.
Through Pennsylvania's property tax rent rebate program, eligible seniors and adults with disabilities could receive up to $1,000. Check your eligibility and apply online.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Batalico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services. Unfiltered. Silvana Kelleher, Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo. Bold, passionate, and unapologetic conversation for the Philly sports fan. Weekdays at 2 p.m. Philadelphia's source for breaking sports news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
All right, we have Amy Fadul with us for the remainder of the show from NBC Sports Philadelphia. So you had the NBA draft last week.
That I did.
And we have not been able to hang out with you since then. What did you make of the selection of VJ Edgecombe? Obviously, there was a lot of Sixers fans upset that they did not select Ace Bailey. As more and more info, I guess you want to say, comes out, I still believe they made the correct pick. But what did you make of day one of the NBA draft?
Day one of the NBA. One, I'm not a giant. I was pleased to not have to wait there until 2 o'clock in the morning. But I don't like 2 days. I think it was kind of drawn out a little bit.
Too
Though
much.
it was not as drawn out as the NHL draft.
That was even worse.
Wow. That was something. But no, I mean, I like the pick. I think I was on with you guys saying, yes, Trey Johnson was my preferred selection, but I was fine, and I understood why they would take a guy like VJ Edgecombe. His upside is really big. He's a better shooter than people realize. And that obviously defensively, I think he brings a lot to the table. I think his personality is really going to mesh quite well here. I talked to him that night, and then I talked to him the next day, 2 days later when he was at the Sixers facility. And he is just a guy that's going to work. And I know they all say that, but they don't always mean it. They don't always give you that vibe. He definitely gives you that vibe. He's a guy that's grateful. And he is, and the questions I started getting, people like, how tall is he? Like, how tall is he really?
Yeah.
He's definitely closer to 6'5", 6'6" probably with shoes on than he is 6'4".
Okay, awesome.
So,
Good
yeah,
deal.
definitely closer to 6'5". But I think that he's real rangy. I think that he is enthusiastic, and I think he's a guy that whatever role you give him, he will thrive in. I don't have any doubt about that.
Now, what's the fit there? Because the backcourt obviously is a little crowded. We assume Grimes is going to be back because Daryl Morey mentioned him.
Yep.
But with
I think
those
they'd
guys,
love for him to come back.
with those guys, although, are you taking the number 3 overall pick and he's playing off the bench, or are you moving McCain to the bench? Like, what would you do?
Oh, McCain's on the bench.
Yeah.
So my starting backcourt would be Maxey and Grimes. If Grimes is back here, obviously that would change if he's not, and then you would move VJ Edgecombe. But yeah, I like to me, and I know it is important for a starter to play those starter minutes, but you can still play starter minutes off of the bench. And I think he's a guy that could give you 20 to 25. Now, those aren't starter minutes, but you're approaching starter minutes. And if we remember, when they drafted Jared McCain, there was thought that he might be in the G League.
Yeah.
I remember being at the Sixers facility on September 30th and talking to Daryl Morey, like, yeah, if that's what we need to do, there's probably a good chance. And Jared McCain was fine with it because he realized it was going to be a crowded backcourt and he might not play. Then, obviously, that all went out the window when he hit the court, and he had a great summer league. I'm sorry, terrible summer league, great training camp, and came in and really became a force. So I like VJ Edgecombe off of the bench. I like having that pop of energy, and I also like having the symmetry of Tyrese Maxey, smaller guard.
Needs help defensively.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then you have Quentin Grimes, great defensively, bigger guard. Jared McCain, smaller guard, might need a little help defensively, bigger guard alongside with VJ Edgecombe. So I kind of like that parallel for me. But it doesn't mean that I couldn't see VJ Edgecombe starting in some scenarios. But I don't see a scenario where they're 3. That's just too small.
Yeah, I think that's too small. And it's funny, Amy, I almost feel like the writing was on the wall when you and I interviewed Daryl Morey the day when John had to leave a little bit early. And I asked him how difficult the draft is when you have a team like you have right now, but you also know maybe toward the end. And maybe Ace Bailey, I keep on saying this to Sixers fans that are wondering why they didn't draft him. How is Ace Bailey going to develop with this team? He's going to have to take 20 shots a game, right? And that's why Utah, good for you, brother. Go to the Wizards. Chuck up your 25 shots.
I don't think he wanted to come to Philadelphia because of that.
He wouldn't. He may have been a starter, but it's going through Embiid. It's going to Maxey. It's going to Paul George. You'll get your scraps. Whereas a guy like VJ Edgecombe can slide right in with the way he plays and then hopefully still develop it. I'm not saying that VJ Edgecombe's going to go out there and be a better scorer than Ace Bailey in the rookie season or second season. But maybe 3-4 years in the league when Embiid's done and Paul George is gone or the tail end of it and they look for somebody to take that next step, it may have been almost the perfect pick for the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it for all of those reasons. He's not a guy that I need to have 25 points a game.
Right.
I don't need him to jack up 60 shots, 50 shots, 20 shots. I'd love for him to be in that teen range, right? 15, 16. That would be huge if he's able to get to that level. But really, you're looking at maybe 12 to 13 shots on a good day. He's a guy that's going to help you out defensively. He's going to draw the assignments for the second team and the first team, depending on who's out there with him. And I think he's a guy that can get to the basket. He's very athletic and he's very rangy. And I think those are the things that help with this team. And I think he will be able to learn on the fly with his team. And Ace Bailey is a guy that's going to go out there and be like, listen, I know I'm young, I'm talented, I'm going to jack up as many shots as I can. And his numbers will probably look okay, but he's going to be playing for the Utah Jazz.
And that's a place they didn't seem all that excited to be going to himself.
Didn't seem it. No.
That's okay. Utah's
it was
nice
so great
this time of
being
year.
being in that. So how it works, the guys come off the stage, they do the car wash area with a couple of interviews on the stage area, and then they come back and they have the big press conference. And you could just tell, all of us congregated, like Keith Pompey, Gina, myself, we all congregated to go listen to Ace Bailey. And there was one guy that asked, clearly from Utah, what do you know about the state of Utah? He was the commissioner of the state, Parks Association out there in Utah, trying to sell this guy on Utah. And I was like, it's futile, dude. He does not care. He is not excited.
He does not want to be in Utah.
He did not want to go to the Jazz.
And he didn't want to be here, so probably
I think
for the
that's
best.
clear.
Yeah, good for him. I'm glad it's working out. All right, can you just talk to the crazies out there?
Yeah. About Ben Simmons?
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Just search when you have time
I don't
later.
want to.
When you have time later,
hurt my heart.
When you have time later, go to Twitter, and just type in Ben Simmons Sixers in the search bar, and you'll see the fans that are pining for Ben Simmons to come back.
See, I'm on the record. I thought Ben Simmons was a tremendous player the first couple of years
Me
here.
too.
Yep. Wonderful. Perfect. And I was on the record, and I told this to both Doc Rivers and Brett Brown. I didn't care if he ever shot the three.
Me too.
Because of everything else he was able to do. It was great. It didn't matter. Joel Embiid's shooting the three. Fine, I don't need the guard to do it. But my God, when he stopped playing basketball, and that's what happened, the wheels have fallen off. He could care less. He was a great player for 3 years. He is no longer interested in basketball. You do not want him here. And I know that he's like tried to make amends, which is great. I think I liked Ben Simmons, but no, he can't come back here. He doesn't play basketball anymore. He doesn't play it.
I don't know how people are not getting this.
Just Google anything from the Nets last year.
Here's your
anything.
I'll start with points per game. 15.8, 16.9, 16.4, drops to 14.3, then 6.9, 6.15. So if you don't want to go points, all right, let's go to field goal attempts.
Oh, God.
12.2, 12.1, 11.2, 9.9,
and then
5.5, 4.9, 4.4 because he stopped caring.
He stopped. And go for assists too. This is what he's supposed to be because he's a rangy, big, tall guard. Spaces the floor out, passes the ball first.
8.2, 7.7, 8.0, 6.9, down to 6.1, 5.7, 5.6.
But it's not like this is a washed veteran from another team that didn't work somewhere else, and you just he did it here in front of your faces.
He quit.
You know it.
Do we have amnesia?
He quit.
What's going on?
Literally doesn't like basketball anymore.
He quit.
It's a shame. He could have been such a good player.
Yeah, and
he's an all-defensive player.
Yep.
It's actually like one of the more infuriating things. Like people will talk about like Anthony Bennett or whatever else. I'm no. It's Ben Simmons for me.
Yeah.
Because Bennett was never good. Ben Simmons was
people
good.
are pining for him to come back.
Well,
and that
you can't rewind the clock.
I don't understand. All right, coming up next, I apologize in advance because I may sound like old man yelling at clouds. Like it's a strong possibility. But I wanted to wait till Amy got here, being the great mother of two that she is, and I get different perspectives. Single man. Engaged man, mother of two. I might be old man yelling at clouds. It's Kincade Salciunas. Connor in for John. Amy here. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Zack Wheeler does Zack Wheeler things. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies beat the San Diego Padres last night by a score of 4-0. Zack Wheeler got the start on the mound, and he was dominant. He went 8 innings. He struck out 10 batters, did not walk a batter, and didn't allow a run either. At the plate, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh all drove in a run. In his first game back since June 5th, Bryce Harper went 0 for 2. He did draw a walk, though. We'll see if he gets his first hit tonight since his return when the Phils run it back against the Padres. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phils tonight, and he's facing off against a former friend, Nick Pivetta. First pitch is tonight at 6:35. On night one of free agency around the NBA, the Sixers signed forward Trendon Watford to a 2-year, $5.3 million contract. Watford averaged 10.2 points per game last season for the Brooklyn Nets. We'll continue to keep you updated on all things free agency and the Sixers right here on The Fanatic. This update was brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Brendan Gunn, and you're listening to the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip? Don't worry. You can still hear all your favorite Fanatic shows no matter where you go. The 97.5 The Fanatic app. Philly sports in the palm of your hand. Listen to our 24/7 live stream. Get up to the minute Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and Union commentary.
Head to Google Play or the Apple App Store now and download our free app.
What's up, guys? Andrew. Now that the warm weather is here and it's here to stay, you've probably spent some more time outside, right? The grass is growing a lot quicker, so you're mowing the lawn. You're taking out the weed with the weed whacker, right? Or the other weed. You're watering your garden. Have you noticed cracks in your exterior walls, bricks or concrete? Are there gaps between your door frames or windowsills? I have seen my neighbors, unfortunately, because of roots from a tree, uplift the concrete of their walkway right by their house. These are clear warning signs of foundation problems. If you've noticed any of these in your home, it's time for Groundworks experts to come on out, identify your home's issues at the source, because not only are you trying to make your house look good, you also want it to be safe. You don't want people tripping over when they're walking by, and you don't want potential wall failure inside your house. Visit groundworks.com today, book your free inspection, and you'll get a no-obligation quote included. Don't wait any longer, because early detection and timely repairs can help prevent further damage to your home's foundation and ensure its long-term stability and safety. And oh, by the way, the more of a fix it'll take, the more expensive the job will be. So visit groundworks.com today. Book your free inspection. You'll get a no-obligation quote included. They'll set you up with payment plans depending on how much you're willing to spend on a monthly basis. They'll work with you. Groundworks, there's a reason why they're the trusted local experts.
It's time for patio parties, backyard barbecues, and porch swings. But is your home ready? Our preferred pros can help turn your home into a summer oasis. From backyard decks to AC tune-ups and roof repairs, our preferred pros are ready to tackle all your home care needs. Call Preferred Pros today.
Great news from Water Furnace, New Jersey. With new state incentives and a 30% federal tax credit, now's the time to switch to geothermal heating and cooling. Visit waterfurnacenewjersey.com.
Zoom Drain and Sewer Service, your trusted experts in South Jersey for swift, precise sewer and drain solutions. Fast, focused, fixed. Book online at zoomdrain.com.
Bachman Solar. Solar is more affordable than you think. Receive federal tax credits and apply for 0% financing with solar solutions at bachmansroofing.com.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
Making choices in the morning can be a bit much. I just want someone to say sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, sausage and cheese or egg and cheese English muffin, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Get 2 for only $3. At Wendy's, fresh made food means simple choices. Dare we say it's even a little fun? Okay, not like roller coaster fun. There's only so much we can do, people. When you want less thinky and more brekky in the morning, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today, because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
Philadelphia, Radnor, Allentown, and Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Michelle Ferreri, licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
4th of July starts with What's on the Grill, and Wild Fork has you covered. Grab grilling essentials like their hamburger bundle. 10 patties for $10. Are you kidding me? Or pick up hot dogs and sausages for as low as $4 a pound. Looking for some steak? Try Wild Fork's Prime Patriot Bundle. This all-American trio includes a bold and juicy Black Angus bone-in cowboy steak, a flavorful and versatile beef outside skirt steak, and the crowd favorite, Prime Beef Picana. Shop in-store or online at wildforkfoods.com.
Colon cancer is the 4th leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. So let's talk about prevention and screening. Did you know that diet and exercise can reduce your risk? That screening can begin at home. And colorectal cancer is highly treatable if caught early.
This station is a part of the Beasley Best community of caring. For more information and ways you can help, visit 975thefanatic.com/caring. That's 975thefanatic.com/caring.
When breaking sports news happens in Philly, we have you covered. Live updates, press conferences, insight, perspective, and your reaction. This is 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. Coming up at 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it's 9:26 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Connor in for John. It is a Tuesday, so Amy Fadul is here. So, Amy, yesterday at 7:55 p.m., I texted Connor Thomas. I was at the ballpark yesterday. Me and my dad. It was Father's Day, my Father's Day gift to him. We picked the game. Just so happened to be fireworks night. I watched it from my car driving home because I didn't need to stay and get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I texted Connor, random side topic, old man yelling at clouds. What is, quote, too much, end quote, at a sporting event? Now, Connor's immediate thought is what, alcohol or something?
No, you know what? I thought of language.
Oh, okay. No.
I thought of attire.
Oh, what?
I will say, speaking
I
of...
thought you meant on a car.
I will say, speaking of attire, I did meant to bring this up. I saw a guy yesterday, and if it's you, I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
But you can't do this. My man went powder blue Phillies jersey, tucked into the khaki pants, long pants with the belt. Like, I think he came right from work.
No. I don't care if
Bring
you
a change of clothes, or don't tuck in your jersey. Don't tuck your jersey in.
Unless the only reason you ever tuck in your jersey is if you're on the field and you're currently playing.
Yeah, it was a weird. It was
That
a
is
weird.
There is no other reason.
I'm sorry if you were there with your girlfriend and I'm putting you on blast right now, but it was a weird look. No, what I'm getting to here is I love everything about the Phillies.
I'm still laughing at the tire.
Yeah. It's all right, Con. I'm trying to get you past that.
I don't know, Amy.
I love the
stupid.
Phillies.
We love the Phillies.
I love Citizens Bank Park. You got your Phillies gear on. I love Citizens Bank Park. I've never ran into one bad usher, one bad
agreed
food employee with Amtrak. No, Amtrak, Aramark. Like
we're crushing this segment.
I've never had a bad experience at Citizens Bank Park. Okay. The too much. At what point is what I'm asking? Is all the lights and everything that's freaking flashing. And I know it sounds... Yes. Now, I know it sounds like old man yelling at clouds.
It does.
But here's what I'm getting at. When you were a kid, Amy, when Connor was a kid, when Brendan was a kid, when I was a kid, when you went to the game, did you care about anything else?
No.
Did you care about the bump, bump, bump? You wanted to see a sporting event. You wanted to see your favorite player. That's it. Man, last night, there were a couple times where depending on the advertisement, the color may have been red, may have been a car, maybe their fourth inning. Like, it was like over bright. And I'm trying to think, all right, is this for today's kids? And that's why it sounds like old man yelling at clouds? Because it's not for me. Like,
I don't think they're driving, so it may not be for them.
No,
it's entertainment value.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying like Connor and Brendan, like, when you guys are going to the games, do you care about the pomp and circumstance? I get the in between the innings, like the big screen, they show the top plays, they do the games, the subway station, all. Like, it's fine. Something to do in between innings.
No, I don't really. Like, I think about when they introduced, like, the in-stadium DJ a couple years ago that they do during, like, batting practice.
I love that.
See, like, it's cool, but I don't really, like, think about it all that much. To me, it's just, like, they're trying to add new stuff, and maybe it catches other people.
I love the organ, the organ, that they play in between innings that are, like, actual songs instead of...
I think it's cool. Yeah, exactly. They did that yesterday, yeah. No, like, that stuff's cool. I'm talking about, like...
This is absolutely old man yells at clouds.
When they get a strikeout, the flashing lights every time.
It does a K.
I know it does a K. I've seen it.
I don't like advertisements.
Are the headlights too bright on the highway for you, Grandpa?
Yeah. It's not just the advertising. It's just everything. It's so, when JT's come up to bat, they got to flash JT everywhere, and I'm like, I know JT's batting. I heard it announced.
When when they turn the lights out.
No, I think when the closer comes out, like when Brad Lidge used to come out and they would turn the light, I thought that was freaking cool, right?
Okay, so it was cool.
Yeah. So I'll ask you, and the reason why I wanted to wait was because you have two young boys that you bring the games to.
Okay, well.
Because we're in the iPad era, right?
Yes, we are.
Where everything is flashy and bright and
quick.
Yeah. Is it for the kid? Like, I went to ball games as a kid because I loved baseball.
I mean, I don't think the advertisements, and I know what you're talking about with the big ring, and that is very...
It's bright.
It is very bright.
It's bright.
And when it comes on, you know it. But that's just subliminal advertising. It causes you to look over it. Does it not?
Honestly, it kind of makes me turn my head because it's too bright.
Well, you knew what color it was, and you knew what it was for.
Well, yeah, because I'm like a gnat.
Well,
it's like,
there you go.
All of a sudden I went to the light. I went to it. But
that's
I
think
that's moths.
But it's not just the advertising. It's everything. And even the scoreboard with the FIP and X-Bob-IP and bacon.
There's
and
a little extra stuff, and it's funny because I have a 10-year-old who's obsessed with baseball and always
Yes.
has been. Loves it, loves every aspect. And even him, when he's up there looking at the Jumbotron, there's almost too much information. He just wants to see what the current batting average is, the current OPS, like what his slashes are. And he's looking at me like, I don't know what some of those things are. And he does, but he just is like, why am I having to search for just the simplest thing of the guy's 1 for 2 today?
Yes.
And he's batting .295. You know what I mean? Like, that's all we really
Like,
want
who
to
is
see.
all this for?
Well, that stuff's for
How about
nobody.
the one where it has like the pitch location? Have you seen that?
They're now doing the drop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The,
yeah.
you know,
like
minus
vertical.
whatever.
I saw that 2 years ago. I was at the game and I texted the guys over at work and I was like, what? I think I texted Ricky and Sean. I was like, what am I looking at? Like, is this like from center? Why do I ever need to know that? Why would I ever be interested in what it was? I mean, I guess the analytics, there are people that like that, but I don't know. I'm not writing that.
7 people out of 45,000.
And they're all already working for the team. in
Right,
the
right,
analytics
exactly.
department.
If somebody's that deep in analytics, they probably have a job in it.
But the thing, so the numbers and all of that, I don't think that's for anybody. I think that's a miss. The lights and everything, the presentation value. Let's remember that baseball is still very much in the we're trying to get younger.
I know.
We're trying to compete.
And so that's why I'm
There's
trying
not
to
as
figure
much
out
action.
who is this for,
Yeah.
and that's why I
The
waited
K-
for because you got the
Ks
2 young boys.
Yeah, they love like to see the Ks up there. They like to see
Okay.
the flashing lights and like when the music comes up and there's a little extra like, you know, whether it's something on the video board or extra lights or extra, I don't know, kind of time to take it all in. I think they do it.
Like I grew up with
Baker does.
I grew up with the vet when it was just the 2 big hands.
Right, exactly.
Like the weird the weird clapping. Like that's and we got a couple of comments on YouTube. Doug, now I don't know how old these people are. Douglas chimes in, the music is way too loud during the games. I will tell you, leaving a Sixers games these days, I love the Sixers. Leaving the Sixers game, I feel like I left a concert.
Yeah, it's loud.
And it's nonstop because basketball, you're allowed to play music throughout, whereas baseball, it's, in between batters. Scott checks in. I went to the Phillies games for 3 things. Seeing the Fanatic, which you still see.
Correct. I need to see more of him.
Seeing the baseball game, which you still see. And the ice cream in the mini helmet. He said that's all that mattered to me as a kid.
Good top 3.
It is a good top 3.
Top 3.
So I'm just trying, I'm wondering, am I old man yelling at clouds with this?
Yeah, 100%. Especially like when you say the thing about when I leave the Sixers games, it feels like I went to a concert.
It does feel like I left. It does
Driving
feel like I
away,
went to a
watching the
concert.
fireworks, I had to get out home.
Down the hallway,
that's true.
You can go into the bathroom. There's a mirror in there. Look into it.
I did tell you I saw some.
It's
I
you.
saw some grays recently. I told you.
I get it. It is a little much, but I think that's just the way sports are consumed now. They are trying to make it more entertaining. Baseball, obviously, especially so. But,
Yeah.
you go to a minor league baseball game and it's similar. Like, maybe not as flashy because they don't have all the bells and whistles of a major league
There's
stadium.
a reason why I don't really go to minor league.
But you should. Those are highly entertaining.
Oh, I'm sure.
Highly entertaining.
I'm sure if I'm in a mood, I'd go. But
Yeah.
I don't go to Citizens Bank Park for everything else.
But look at the
that's
new-
me. Like I get it. I
But
go
look at
for
the
baseball.
new Jumbotron at the Wells Fargo Center. That
Yeah.
that has
Gigantic.
fire coming
Oh,
out of it. It's huge.
It's amazing.
It has all these lights.
I took my dad to the
Massive. It's
to
awesome.
to the Big 5 Classic,
Yeah.
the inaugural one. And I'm sitting there, we're watching great games because they're all tight.
They're all
of
great
them were
games.
really
Right,
tight.
Correct.
And I look to my dad, and he's looking up, and I'm like,
It is-
I'm smacking him. I'm like, Dad, the game's down there. He goes, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And my dad ended up watching more on we sat center court, the mezzanine level. He
Right.
watched more on the screen than the
It's a
court.
big, beautiful screen. That's the thing.
Beautiful
Yeah, it's
screen.
nice.
So I
And
think
you're a guy who likes baseball in a cornfield out in Iowa.
Damn
and that's
right I
okay
do.
because you love the game.
I love the Field of Dreams game, man. I
Yeah,
think it's awesome.
I hear you. I think that it is a little, could be a little much by some, but to me, I don't even notice it. But I do like the lights with the K. And that cloud you're screaming at, it's not angry with you.
Okay. Well, it's been raining on me the last
Well,
couple
that's true.
days.
Maybe
now.
it
We
is
need to
angry
fix
with
that.
you.
All right, coming up next, we got some more time to check some text messages. This Ben Simmons thing is amazing to me that people want this.
I can't. I want to know what they saw the last 2 years that said, yes.
Yes, this is the guy that will.
If they want to go back 6 years, totally get
Yeah.
it. I'd love to go back 6 years.
By the way, he's
Great
not
time.
going back 6 years.
No.
He no longer cares.
This is it.
Oh, boy. All right, it's Kincade and Salciunas. Amy with us for the remainder of the show here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means. Engagement season. But remember, don't force it.
Don't tell your significant other something so ridiculous they almost feel obligated to engage and prove you wrong. Let it be natural. Let it be intelligent and entertaining. Let it be unfiltered. With Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m.
Make the switch. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son, Mike. In addition to the comp case, there is a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Guys, baseball's in full swing, but if you're striking out in the bedroom, it's time to talk. This is Dr. Avi Donapel from Iron Mountain Men's Health. We specialize in treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone with personalized, effective care. Over 95% of our patients see real results even when other treatments haven't worked. Feel stronger all season long, in the boardroom, the bedroom, and on the field. Step up to the plate. Visit IronMountainMen'sHealth.com. Iron Mountain Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hey, this is Andrew Salciunas.
I'm John Kincade.
This is Mike Missanelli.
Ricky Metallico here.
We've done some great work with businesses across the Delaware Valley.
Companies like Landis Block, Waste Management's Bagster, and Comcast Business.
We only endorse businesses and products that we truly use and value.
Think about the impact of hearing Fanatic personalities talking about your organization and driving customers to your company.
Go to 975thefanatic.com/advertise to learn more about how The Fanatic can help you market your products and services.
The real and inside story on Philly sports is here, and it's powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Kincade and Salciunas, Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic.
940 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. You know, I need to apologize to our YouTube family.
What'd you do?
Well, they're now setting over-unders on how many times I may say a word or a phrase. God forbid I use the word pining too often
You
today.
said pining a lot.
I did say pining a lot because there are people pining for Ben Simmons. And I find that crazy. Grouse is being mentioned on here. That's
It behooves you to say
Yeah, behooves. That's an Andrew DeCecco. But the grousing is a Kincade and Salciunas word.
I think grouse is
sure.
full in the coop. That was a good 2-week run.
Yeah.
I think we can leave that one.
And then me saying old man yelling at clouds is now being counted.
That's not just you. That exists outside.
Yeah.
Of this.
And that was a part of the segment.
Yeah, it was literally the reason.
So that's okay. Look,
Hey,
I
say
get
your
it.
phrases. Don't let them get to you.
Me and you two, we're tight.
Yo, you two,
tight.
keep it up.
Don't
me.
worry. Nothing
I
bothers
like it.
me. Nothing bothers me.
That's a lie. Your thumb's bothering you like crazy right now.
Okay, that's my thumb.
You heard he broke his thumb at
I
in men's league?
didn't break it.
Yeah,
At
you
least I
probably
don't. I don't.
You
know.
broke it?
I don't know. It's bruised all over.
You got to see this thing. It's fat. It's black and blue.
It's
crazy.
fine. I'm okay.
It looks like
it's a thumb.
It looks like Big Shot. You remember when Big Shot was the Sixers mascot? That's what his thumb looks like right
It's
now.
a thumb.
How did this happen?
You know,
jam it?
I was catching. It happens. They catch on the bad spot, and the kids throwing
bone spot.
Kids throwing a little bit of heat.
They got a senior citizen playing catcher. He can't
Right.
see. The lights are too bright. The sounds are too
bright.
loud. Now his thumb's broken.
Exactly.
It's a big issue,
Get a headache,
Amy.
get a headache from the lights.
I'm falling apart. That's all. All right. Let's get some text messages. We'll go to a call here first because there are people pining for Ben
clamoring.
Simmons. Let's go to Joe in West Philly. He wants to talk about it. What's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
All right. I mean, the thing about Ben Simmons is that I don't understand it. My uncle used to have a saying. He used to tell me when I was a kid. He said, "Joe, you can't kill nothing, won't nothing die." I mean, which meaning that Ben Simmons and not shooting the ball. When you went through his assist, you could see how he bottomed out. Like he just can't kill it. If you can't kill it, it won't die, and it'll eventually take you under. I mean, it's nice to say I'd rather him not shoot the ball. I don't really care. But this is professional basketball. I mean, that leads to not dunking on people and everything else. And Ben Simmons.
Well, that was the final straw because he did not have that problem his first couple. That Trae Young,
a 3-time All-Star.
Yeah, that Trae Young moment is the one that sticks out. That wasn't a reoccurring problem.
No, that's because he didn't want to go to the foul line. We already know that was. He didn't want to go to the foul line. And with the Sixers trying to change culture, they got Tyrese at dinners, they got McCain at the lottery, they just drafted this upbeat kid, DJ. I don't see why they would want to inject Ben Simmons back into something like that. I think Ben, he ran his course here. I mean, like you said, he was raw. And like raw, if you don't season and cook it up soon enough, it gets rotten.
Yeah. I mean, I just, and Joe, thanks for the call, man. Always great hearing from you. I mean, I don't know if just enough time's gone by that people have forgotten or are ready to forgive. I can't.
I'm ready to forgive. That's great. I don't hold any ill will to the
Yeah.
guy. I just don't want
I
him
do.
back here in a basketball uniform.
I do as well.
I have plenty of ill will toward him.
Like I don't want him in this.
You can't carry that with you. Release it.
I don't necessarily
I know
like,
he hurt you.
I don't know. I also don't necessarily like the I'm not showing up, but I'll find a clause and make it
Right, yeah.
create something and use that clause when there's people that actually deal with
Right.
mental health issues. Like I don't like the guy.
Honestly, I think he does have some
clearly.
issues
Yeah,
that
but
he needs to deal
that
with.
was
But
not-
I think it's more a confidence thing.
That was not the problem at the time. It was I'm getting fined.
Right.
What can I find in my contract where now all of a sudden I'm
That
not
was
getting
disappointing.
fined?
I do think that he's been the victim of, or was the victim of currently, I'm not really sure, because I don't hear from him or talk to about him anymore, but bad advice. I think he's gotten some really egregiously bad advice from his family that coaches him, from people around him that he thought that it was a good idea to have, to eschew anything that the Sixers offered as far as coaching wise and just go with the people that were just yes people.
Yeah.
And I think he's been coddled. And when he finally wasn't, it was like, oh.
And I think the Sixers are to blame
I have to work.
in the beginning. They coddled both him and Joel Embiid.
They did.
They coddled them
but it worked
big time.
for Ben Simmons. He was a 3-time All-Stars, an all-defensive team player.
Yeah,
Like,
but then the first time somebody said something, Doc
it was-
Rivers, when Doc Rivers says, I don't know, over.
Well, really, what was the first kind of shoe to drop was when Brett Brown said, I want him to take at least 1 3 a game.
Yeah, that was after the
and
Cavs
he
game.
never took the 3 again. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Your coaches just said, I want you to do it at least once a game. And you never, not even once a game, you never did it again.
Because he felt like he was
He's
made
like,
a
no, no,
mockery of
whoa.
almost.
And with everybody, and he has backtracked a bit and said how much he, did enjoy it here and whatever else. And I get it because we are passionate. But come on, like your coach just told you to do that.
Right. And I think all of this basically, I don't know if it comes from a place of insanity or maybe desperation more for Sixers fans
maybe
after this
desperation.
past year.
I think desperation might be a big part of it. All right, what do we got on the text line, Gunner?
Well, we got somebody that's desperate. He says Ben Simmons is the more athletic version of Clint Capella.
No, he's not.
Why wouldn't I want that on my team if he can stay healthy? He can play center for us and not play point guard.
First of all, it's not about him being healthy. He doesn't want to play basketball. You just went over the numbers, Andrew.
Yeah. the back that randomly flares up all the time. Like
it's willingness.
He's a more
he's not
athletic
willing.
version of. He's not. No.
I can't believe it.
It's just, I'm
But
so
this is
surprised.
this is what we're doing.
I'm so surprised. I am actually scared to do the social media search of Ben Simmons to the Sixers.
Yeah, I told you. There's a
I don't
lot of people that want him.
No one's making it.
And it's
Stay away.
amazing.
Stay in your happy place. No, that's Andrew.
Here's my question. Like there's a risk. If you did bring him back, right? There's a risk, right? To A, he may not care. B, what if there's beef between him and Embiid? Like I don't know what it is. There's risks to bringing him back.
I don't see
To be a role player off the bench.
He doesn't start. He's not a starter.
No, he's not your stretch four that you need.
The people that are out there clamoring, because I won't say the other word.
Thank you.
Even entertaining the idea of him coming back are just the same as the teams out there that think we'll be the ones to fix him. It's there's a walking red flag, and you go on a date with that person, and all the red flags are presenting themselves at one time, and you knew about them going in, and you still said yes. You're not going to change him, okay? You're not going to change him. He is who he is.
Yeah. He literally said that once.
He said it.
I am who I am. It is what it is. That was.
We lost. It sucks. I am who I am. It is what it is.
That's his quote. That was after losing.
It is.
That was after losing Game 7 of the Hawks when he had a lead.
When you had a lead, you refused to
18 point
shoot
lead.
the ball.
Correct. 18 was that the 18-point lead or was that the 20-point lead?
Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah.
Matisse Thybulle.
All right.
Who has no offensive game?
Stop
Don't
it.
tell Connor that.
Zero offensive game.
Don't tell Connor
Zero.
that.
I got one of the most offensive tweets after the VJ Edgecombe.
I saw that. I saw it.
I couldn't. It made me so unnecessarily angry.
He's just a higher drafted Matisse Thybulle.
I was like, oh my God, tell me that you haven't watched a single game without telling me. He's like, well, he does defense and he steals. I'm like, no, that's offensive.
Anyone
All right,
that's,
I'll delete my burner account.
Anyone that's been on the side of Garage Bar is Connor's favorite player.
Now stop that.
Marsh, Bohm, Stott, Matisse Thybulle. Anyone else? Who else we have?
No, we'll get Kepler up there one of these days.
That would be great. Yeah, by the way, Sports Guys struck down on him yesterday with that Rob.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Well deserved.
And I was like,
well deserved.
Sports are the best.
Well deserved. He's now hitting 205.
You get your justice.
All right, time now for the Kincade Salciunas Key 3 best minutes from today's show.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, today's best.
So, good win for the Phillies, but it was also a good day yesterday at Citizens Bank Park because it was the return of Bryce Harper. We talked about this last week that he was going to probably just pop up out of nowhere. When John's been so upset recently about not being told what's going on, I understand it because we want honesty from our teams, and especially in this city when it comes to injuries, we deal with it a little bit too much with the Sixers, and the Phillies have quietly become the Sixers when it comes to the weird reporting of injuries. But Bryce Harper, who in the past has not gone down to the minor leagues for any sort of rehab start or rehab stint, he just randomly pops back up. And yesterday we got the breaking news early in the afternoon that he was going to be reinstated. And we saw him back in the lineup yesterday. And first and foremost, it was good to see him back in the lineup yesterday. I've seen Kurt Schilling. I've seen Roy Halladay. I've seen Cole Hamels. I've seen Cliff Lee. And I've seen Aaron Nola. And Zack Wheeler, right? I don't think I missed anyone. No. Extended period of times. Zack Wheeler is now in his 6th season, believe it or not, already with the Phillies. His numbers in his 6 years, ERA-wise, better than Schilling. 6 years is more than what Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee did. We saw Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee pitch out of their minds. Like Roy Halladay had a Cy Young in this city, but it was for short bursts. Cliff Lee only really did it for 2 seasons. It was just 2 immaculate seasons, but it was just 2 seasons. Roy Halladay, we saw how quickly he fell off. Cole Hamels was spectacular. But Zack Wheeler is on his own level compared to those pitchers. And he's still doing it. And we haven't seen it tail off at all. The beginning of this season, we were saying, well, he doesn't totally look like himself. His ERA this year is now 2.27, which if the season ended today, would be his best single-season ERA in any year with the Phillies and his entire career. Do you know that Zack Wheeler has had an ERA of 3 or more just once with the Phillies? And again, I mean from a basketball standpoint. There are a lot of people that I think would love to see the story. From a content standpoint, oh, man.
Yeah, like,
bring it on.
Our job would get so easy.
Bring it on. If Ben Simmons comes back, that's a couple days of radio. during the summer.
Yeah, but I'd rather do the boring 2024-25 Eagles season where you just win and there's no drama. Well,
right.
Less drama. No, the only way you can get to this point is if you are a individual, all due respect, who is certifiably insane. This is not going to work. You shouldn't even think about it. Ben Simmons is not coming back to this city for multiple reasons.
Well,
on and off the court.
He may want to come back.
I don't care. You're not welcome. Sorry.
That's, like, he quit on this team.
Yeah.
Right? Like, quit on this team. I am who I am. It is what it is. Talking about Philly fans, all that kind of stuff. And I'm all for forgiveness, but like he quit on this basketball team after he made one of the worst in-game decisions we've ever seen, passing up the dunk and giving it to a guy that can't score a basketball, Matisse Thybulle. Let's head to the Comcast Business Hotline, where every day in business is a big day. Let Comcast Business help you move forward with what's next. This man does a tremendous job covering the Phillies, but also the Flyers, which we will get to when we speak with him. From on Patterson, Ant Sanfilippo joins us. Ant, what's going on, man? Good morning.
Morning, boys. How you doing? He's the best of this decade or this century because he's got a little bit more longevity than Roy Halladay. Like Halladay, I still think was the better pitcher career-wise, but when you look at just time in Philadelphia, Halladay had 2 to 3 incredible seasons. Wheeler's now 6 years in, right? So to me, Zack Wheeler is the best pitcher the Phillies have had since we've hit the 21st century.
All right, that is the Kincade Salciunas Key 3 best minutes from today's show. Oh, deal of the week. Check out the deal of the week. 2 single-day wristbands for the price of 1. For the Funplex in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, Connor Thomas's old stomping grounds. You'll enjoy unlimited access to indoor and outdoor rides, the Splashplex Water Park, 1 hour of bowling, and a $5 arcade card. Get this exclusive offer while supplies last at 975thefanatic.com/deals. Are your boys competitive with one another?
I mean, they're 6 years apart, so yes. You wouldn't think so, but yes. I mean, even as much as like we're on a walk, let's race to the mailbox.
Yeah.
One of them is 4 feet tall. Or not even. He's like, 45 inches. And the other one is a little over 5 feet tall and 10. So, yeah. And, of course, he leaves Baker in the dust. And I'm like, couldn't you just let him win? No.
Mismatch. Mouse in the house.
Of course not.
Like,
no, you can't let him win.
Let's race over here. No, let's play a game. Yeah, and he just, smokes him. I'm like, just let him win.
As the older brother, that's how I was. And then my younger brother ended up 6'4". And
so I told him, I was like, there's going to come a day. But I don't know that Baker will pass Sean. He's pretty tall.
Today, Game 2, Phil's Padres, Christopher Sanchez on the bump against Nick Pivetta.
We hope.
Oh, weather permitting.
Yeah.
Question: do you guys still get a vitriol reaction?
Yes.
I don't like Nick Pivetta.
I don't have an issue.
As soon as you said his name, I was like, ugh.
I don't like him. I did not like watching him pitch. I did not
There's
like him as.
a couple guys I get.
I did not like him as a person.
Arrieta, I got that way with.
So, Jake Arrieta took Nick Pivetta under his wing, and Pivetta then became very Arrieta-esque. And I still remember there was a day I was down I was in Brigantine watching the game, and Pivetta got shelled. Like an inning and 2/3. Gave up 4 or 5 bombs. His first comment was the umpire was squeezing me.
Oh, I remember this.
And I'm like, yo, dude,
you got to own it, dude.
Right or wrong, you gave up 5 home runs and didn't pitch through 2 innings. And your first comments is the umpire squeezed you? Yeah. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, the ones that weren't strikes apparently were taken out of the ballpark.
Yeah, come on, man.
5 times.
Yeah, so I don't like Nick Pivetta. And yet he's turned his career around. He's 8-2 with a 3.36 ERA this year. I'll give him credit.
He's having a good year.
Nice major league pitcher.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
I just try not to think about him.
That's good.
Well, you're going to have to today if they do end up playing.
Yeah,
today,
I saw there's some serious
2.
weather in the forecast.
Yeah,
we've had some serious storms.
Yeah, we're Florida now.
It's been a wild ride.
We were Seattle, so I'm glad. I guess
we'll take Florida.
Yeah, I'll take the warmth. That's fine. Amy, thank you as always.
Thank you, guys.
What's the schedule for you the rest of the week?
I'm in with Ray and I on Thursday, the 3rd.
Nice. Oh, okay.
From 10 to 2.
Thursday the 3rd.
Thursday the 3rd.
We will be here.
I will see you guys then from 10 to 2, me and Ray Dunn.
You're the best, Amy. Thank you as always. Thank you,
for
everybody, for watching YouTube. You guys are the best. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning on an Adam Schefter Wednesday. Connor?
Oh, and remember to support life-saving cancer research. Join me and our generous partner, Pierce Phelps Bryant Heating and Air Conditioning Contractors, in making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today at 975thefanatic.com/AACR. Cancer research saves lives.
The Mike Missanelli Show with Ray Dunn comes your way next.